But I saw some shit this morning, made me think twice. See, now I'm thinking maybe it means you're the one with the cold takes, and I'm the righteous host. And Mr. Microphone here, he's the shepherd protecting my righteous ass in the valley of cold takes. Or it could mean that you're the righteous host, and I'm the shepherd, and it's the world that's evil and full of cold takes. And I'd like that, but that shit ain't the truth. The truth is you're the weak, and I'm the tyranny of cold takes. But I'm trying, Ringo. Trying real hard to be the shepherd. And with that, welcome once more to another episode of Cinema Forecast. It is I, your host, Alfredo. With me, as always, the other host of Cinema Forecast, the other half of this puzzle, Connor.
It's me. Hello.
And we're doing Ooh Month. That's right, triple O, out of order movie month.
Ooh Month, everyone knows that.
Ooh, here at Cinema Forecast, the movie podcast, where, of course, every month we are assigned a category. Attached to said category, 4 films we believe fit the category. One each week, one by one. Take one of those movies, go in depth, talk about it in the context of the category. And to wrap up, we are doing
Pulp Fiction.
That is right, Pulp Fiction, a film of some renown.
Oh yeah.
People know it. People watch it. Teenagers quote it.
I quote it.
People, I quote it as well. People dress up like her a lot for Halloween.
Uma Thurman.
Mia Wallace.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, it's pretty big movie.
Big deal. Big episode.
Big episode.
I love Pulp Fiction. One of my all-time favorite movies. And I'm happy to report after another watch, still one of my favorite movies. I love this movie.
Hell yeah. Good movie. Fun movie. Very entertaining film. Feels very movie, you know?
It's all movie. There's a lot of movie packed into those 2 hours.
It's a lot of movie. It's 2.5 hours, my friend.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of movie references packed in there. Do you remember the first time you saw this thing?
Yes, actually. Someone we know, Jack Terrell, was like, "You haven't seen Tarantino? You gotta watch Tarantino." And I'm like, "Okay, let's watch some Tarantino." So we watched this and Reservoir Dogs back to back. And I remember finishing this movie like, "Huh? That's the end? What? Okay." But yeah, I have watched it many, many times since then and have come to love it more and more over the years. What about you?
I don't really remember the first time I watched it. Might have been with my dad, might have just been with some friends. Regardless, I don't have any specific memory of the first watch. But yeah, I've always thought it's like a real fun sort of like romp. And as I got older, went to film school and stuff, learned about how Tarantino is like obsessed with film and he's just like cramming a bunch of references to like so many things in all of his movies. And it's a fun thing to see. It's like, a little bit of like a collage. I think people use the word pastiche to refer to this film a lot.
Interesting.
And I'm going to get you a little definition. It's an artistic work in a style that imitates that of another work, artist, or period. It definitely does feel like that. It's pastiche in a sense that it feels like a film that is very much of like perhaps like the 70s gangster or like crime movie aesthetics.
Yeah.
And then more individually, there's just like hundreds of references to other films.
Yeah, just you talking about that now, it almost kind of fits in with the title of the movie, Pulp Fiction, which they have that definition at the beginning, a soft, moist, shapeless mass of matter, or the second definition, a magazine or book containing lurid subject matter and being characteristically printed on rough, unfinished paper.
Yeah, for sure. You know what, but before we get to that, I wanted to just do a couple things from last week. So I forgot to mention the whole time we were talking about this movie, Mulholland Drive last week, that my sister's name is Camila. And like, while we were watching the movie, it was weird to like, while we watched the movie then talked about it, it was weird to say her name so many times.
Yeah, that was in the back of my head
and
too.
I was editing it. I thought it was funny because I kept saying Camilla during, I said a very anglicized version of, which I would never call my sister Camilla. I would never call her that because that's not her name. But I noticed when I was editing it, you often said it Camila, which is the way that my sister's name is pronounced.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is that I don't think I said Boca, and I just kind of threw it out there. I just want to let y'all know It's a Japanese word, and it means blur or haze. Just take care of a little bit of business.
Oh, yeah,
but
brother.
on to the movie where they say the word fuck 256 times.
I think it said 265 on my screen when it came up. There was a little like Amazon trivia thing.
I wrote it down
Okay,
when
yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, maybe I'm misremembering then.
Maybe, I mean, I wrote it down as soon as I saw it.
I believe it.
We'll check it. You want to check again right now?
Yeah.
All right.
check
If
it
I'm
in.
right, you owe me $5, okay?
Okay.
Don't talk. Don't fill the dead. Don't even attempt to
I'm not.
fill the fucking dead air.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, I know.
I just want the tension to build. This is all tension, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, right. It is said, God fucking damn it. Can't believe I wrote this down wrong. It said 265 times. But I just want everyone to notice. I said, if I'm right, you owe me $5.
Yeah,
That's all I
there
said.
was no reciprocation.
There was no
in that.
reciprocation. God damn, I can't believe I wrote it down wrong. God fucking damn. This is over. Get out of here.
We're shutting the show down.
Get out of here. I drove him here. He's going to have to walk home. All right. Well, anyway, back to the movie where they say fuck 265 times. We get from the very beginning. Well, let's talk about themes. Sorry. Themes are important.
Yeah.
Themes are kind of the name of the game.
Oh, yeah, baby. We got 4 movies, and this month we got 4 themes. Number 1, perspective changes everything. There's a little perspective in this movie, but it's more so just kind of these individual linear narratives that overlap a little bit. It's not too much like reliving or rehashing events.
I think that there's a lot of information that's given through like watching the other parts of certain parts of these. But,
Sure, that's true
but
too.
sure.
Then we got the butterfly effect. I definitely think we see butterfly effect stuff with the positioning of the vignettes. Like the way Jules and Vincent's stories play out, you already know the conclusion of it. Like the final act is showing you the butterfly effect that you've already seen, basically, which is really good. Then the number 3, details overlooked. Yeah, a little bit of that here and there. Little things that are kind of hidden or not as important as you think it is. Like, the heroin going into the baggie instead of the balloon it usually goes into, which helps Mia fall into. But that's still kind of linear. So anyway, finally, fate versus free will. I wasn't really expecting this one to show up in this movie, but definitely with Jules' whole kind of epiphany and his whole arc.
I think Jules is probably like the deepest part of the movie in a lot of ways. I think this film, and this isn't meant as a criticism, because again, this is a very fun movie. There's a lot of like love for cinema here, and this is not to demean it in any way. This is definitely the most sort of like just go out there and like tell like an entertaining story. Like there's not really an emphasis on making deeper commentary like Mulholland Drive, or even I think like some of the attempts that Memento makes, even though I think Memento is really more of a Pulp Fiction than it is a Mulholland Drive. I think it sits closer to that on the spectrum.
Yeah.
But I think it has some pretense of like with the stuff about memory to kind of like make it like this deeper thing, right?
Yeah, there's definitely...
I'm not saying it's shallow. It's like...
No, I hear you. It's something I think about
It is
a lot.
surface level.
Yeah.
In a way that I think is totally acceptable.
In some ways. I guess I would push back on surface level because it's definitely been a movie that over the years I have like gotten more out of in terms of the overall like message. How do all these stories relate? What does it all mean? I do think that whole idea of the decisions we take, the actions we take, I think that's all kind of tied in there in the consequences of that. And our loyalties to certain things or non-loyalties.
I don't want to dismiss it as it has nothing to say.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah. No,
but
I hear you.
First and foremost, its goal is to go out there and like tell an entertaining story.
Yeah, to be a bit of a wild ride.
And I think that just through the sort of like subject matter, there is a depth to some of the things that are being said for sure. But it doesn't. I don't think it is endeavoring to the depths that a Mirror or a Mulholland Drive is going to.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like if we were gonna do say something like rank the 4 of these, like which are the like which is the deepest movie and which is the like least deep quote unquote movie, I might make a case for Pulp Fiction to be 4th. Pulp Fiction or Memento.
Yeah,
one of those.
that's interesting. It's interesting. It gives me a lot to reflect on because there's so much in this movie that I feel like if I were to write a paper on all four of these, which paper would be the longest? I don't know if Pulp Fiction would be in last place in that case, just because it has so many other layers within it and so many things it's working with. But yeah, it's an interesting question, and it's something.
If you're writing a paper, if you're doing a film analysis, yeah, there's a lot of material to write on for sure. And again, with it being pastiche, a reference to a bunch of stylistic things, of course, if you're reading a book that references a million other books, you could write an essay not just about that book, but all these
the
other
other books. Yeah.
I totally get that, but that at the same time, I don't think that
yeah, if it was just on the themes of each movie, maybe yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's not to belittle this movie anyway. It's just like
No, I hear you.
I don't really think it's like reaching for that sort of depth in any way.
Yeah.
Especially when you compare it to Mirror or Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty clear, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair thing to say, and I think it's okay.
Yeah. No, you just got me thinking about it because it's a movie I think about so often, and it makes me wonder, what is it about it, right? Because it's not just that it's entertaining. Like there's something about this movie that feels like it's evoking something higher to me, even if it's not clear what that higher thing is.
Yeah, I mean, and perhaps that's more of like a you thing, because I see what you mean. Like I think it's an awesome movie. I love watching it. I think there's a lot of really cool aspects of it, especially from like a technical aspect to like break down, and then like thinking about like structure and the way it's written. All of that is very interesting to like look at. But if I'm like, what am I sitting under the like tree and contemplating?
Yeah.
Like it for me personally, it's just not this movie or the like a lot of the themes necessarily presented in this movie, you know?
Right, for sure. Well, we open up with that Pulp Fiction definition.
Yeah, the definition of pulp. We got definition 1 and 2.
Right. And then convo at the diner between Honey Bunny and what's the
Pumpkin. Yeah,
Pumpkin
I do want to say the idea for this this script, the 3-story script idea, is inspired originally by the 1963 Italian horror film Black Sabbath, which has a trio of connected stories. That's what Roger Avery and Quentin Tarantino took inspiration from to do this sort of like triptych, if you will, you know?
Yeah, very interesting.
But yeah, like you said, we do start in the diner.
Yeah, and it was hard to take notes for this movie because I feel like Tarantino is just like such a master with dialogue that like every other line felt quotable to me, where I'm like, oh, I kind of want to write that down, or I kind of want to write that down, and then I ended up just like not writing a lot down. But like, man, the dialogue is so good. The characters are so naturalistic. I think my favorite thing about his dialogue is that it feels extremely natural in this world. It's unnatural dialogue in the real world, but it's like this elevated type of dialogue.
It's movie talk. It's really snappy. It feels like, yeah, it flows and it works. I will just say from the very beginning, there is a certain like use of language here, and I'm not talking about like swear words. I'm talking about like the slurs.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of slurs.
You know, the way that they come so freely. I remember, I think when I was younger, I was like, it impacted me as well. But when I was younger, I definitely was like, oh, well, you know, that's like, I think when I felt that way, I was like, oh, well, he's like being raw or whatever. And I'm still uncomfortable with it. And I think it does sort of like, I think he wants to paint a picture of certain people. But I think there's also, I don't know, there's an aspect of him where I'm just like, there's a little bit of him where I'm like, he's a little bit of like an edgelord, and like, you know, he kind of likes to, you know.
Yeah, I hear that too. I was, you know, definitely a product of its time in that way. I don't think he would write a new movie with that level. Like, he still does go there, but I don't think he goes to that level anymore.
Yeah, for sure. But I think also, like, one of the things I'm thinking about while I'm watching it is like, it's not like you're supposed to be like, oh no, I don't like pumpkin because he used like a slur for like a Latino person, an Asian person. It's like, this guy's like a fucking criminal. It's not like you're supposed to be like, oh man, this guy's my friend, you know, like.
They all feel slimy, and they talk about people in a slimy way.
And I think that's one of the things that I thought was effective in its use in this sort of opening scene, especially this many years later, like 30 years later, being like, oh, you know what? it works. Like it has a purpose and it kind of delivers on that. You know, they're like all of these people very rough, not super like you know, you're not gonna bring them home to your mom. You know.
Yeah, I think we had the same journey with the way the language was used. Where I'm like, oh, it's a little rough, but also like it does work and fit, and it does feel natural to these characters. Like,
yeah, for sure. But I will say there is an aspect of it that feels gratuitous.
Yeah.
That I think speaks to an aspect of Quentin Tarantino that I'm uncomfortable with.
Sure, I'm on board with that. So Honey Bunny is basically saying they're just gonna
Played by Amanda Plummer and Tim Roth.
Yeah. I don't know if I know Amanda Plummer from anything else.
It's great.
Tim Roth is definitely pretty famous. But yeah, they're talking about they only want to do one more job. And this is kind of the larger theme, I think, of the movie, is that they're both like, just one more, you know? It's like just towing the line a little bit too far, and you wind up in the situation they wind up in. But yeah, they're going back and forth about the logistics of robbing different places. He gives the story about robbing a bank with a telephone, and like, you know, how awesome that is, how they're putting themselves in too much danger.
I mean, what he ultimately lands on, what he's leading to is like, instead of trying any of those things, why don't we just like rob a restaurant? Because the last time we robbed a place, you started taking people's wallets and stuff. And that's a good idea. Let's do that here. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, there's some pros to this. Yeah. And then they're like, and she's like, all right, let's fucking do it. I want to try it right now. And I love the contrast of him. All right, everybody be cool. This is a robbery. Very sort of like in control. Yeah. And then she's immediately like, everybody get the fuck down. Like if anybody fucking moves, I'll fucking blow your fucking head off. Yeah. It's great. It's fucking awesome.
She goes from 1 to 100 immediately. She like strikes me, her character is so interesting to me because she strikes me as like, you know, like incredibly unstable, right? She's like doing this very like kind of like cute, like putting her head on the table, like so soft spoken, like I don't want to kill anyone, you know, like she comes across as like at a moment's twist she could, you know, be the devil. And as we see that happen here. And just the Garçon coffee thing.
Yeah, garçon means boy. I say that a lot to people.
And just like a good tell for later in the movie because it's a memorable moment that they'll hook back in later, you know.
A lot of that audio is like playing in the background of like the end scene, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like reconnecting everything, you know, kind of puts a bow on things as well. It's cool. But we get that cool freeze frame of them, like, you know, about to fucking rob the restaurant.
And Miserlou kicks in.
Yeah, and we have these very classic sort of like 1970s, like, you know, violent sort of like crime, gangster movie sort of vibe. And then we have that very characteristic sort of Tarantino font. And just see the absolute stacked cast roll by. I want to shout out the director of photography for this is Andrzej Sekula. I also want to shout out the friggin' editor, Sally Menke, because it is a common... There's a lot of technical aspects that are working together to like buttress and support this snappy writing, this snappy dialogue style. The cinematography and the editing are working together like really nicely.
Yeah.
Like the cuts are not overly done. They're not like they feel snappy without while letting shots breathe, which I think is like a really, really awesome like execution. And like does so much for the pacing of this because it does like just kind of fly by. It is like such a fun sort of like jaunt in a way, you know?
Absolutely. And no composer for this movie, but
no, it's all all pop music essentially.
Yeah, and just I can almost see like Tarantino like having the music in mind while he's writing the scene because it always just goes like hand in hand with everything.
There's some notes on the like X-ray thing that talked about like how he wanted a certain song here, but he couldn't do. It's a part specifically he wanted My Sharona during the part with Zed and Maynard, but he couldn't get it had already been licensed that year, and a member of the band was like a born again Christian, so he didn't want to license it for a sexual assault scene, you know? Which I get.
Yeah, fair. I love that during the credits we get the the sound of the radio changing from Miserlou into Jungle Boogie.
You know that happens right as they show the name of the music supervisor.
Oh no, I didn't notice. I love that. Yeah, just like such a nice little attention to detail, and immediately shifts the vibe, and you're like, all right, what are we doing now? And it drops into Jules and Vincent having a conversation.
Yeah, talking about Amsterdam, the legality of marijuana, how it works there. And Quentin Tarantino did write this while he was in Amsterdam.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah, and he wrote a lot of it while he was spending his time at quote unquote coffee shops. More than likely probably smoking pot.
That's so funny. Yeah, you got the famous Royale with cheese line because they don't have the metric system. Love that.
La Big Mac.
Yeah, and I love how he's like, yeah, what do they call a Whopper? He's like, I don't know. Didn't go to Burger King.
Yeah, it's that like classic Tarantino, like that's funny. That's like a question your friend would ask you, and that's like just like a real answer. There's like does this really awesome, like there's a shape to it where it gets so larger than life, and then it kind of like comes down and is more grounded, and it's just such like a mix of the like quotidian and the like almost surreal in a way, like the way that they talk is so like day to day, like, yep, this is just our lives, but we're talking about like a guy getting thrown out of fucking building for giving a guy's wife like a foot massage,
Yeah, I love it's so interesting because it's one of those things I ask a lot on the podcast, like, what is the point of this? Like, why are we seeing this? And there's so much you could level that critique of at Tarantino's writing, but I think what he does so well is that he's showing you little bits and pieces of who these characters are, but he's also kind of like setting up a little bit of foreshadowing for Easter eggs and things that are going to connect throughout the movie. Like,
yeah, for sure. And like, it's also like he just has a good way of like making memorable things that can be good callbacks later on.
Yeah.
I think the purpose of these sort of opening scenes right here between Jules and Vincent, and I wrote this down, is like, Vincent is giving Jules a lot of information about what it's like to be like in Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we see that Vincent has a sort of like level of like knowledge, right? Some sort of mastery over something. We see him as a source of knowledge. And then in the next couple scenes, we see how much Jules knows about the current situation with Mia and with Tony Rocky Horror. And like he seems to have some sort of expertise as well. And I think it sets them both up as like experts, quote unquote, for the scene when they start debating like the foot massage thing.
Yeah.
Because like in the movie, like the people who are delivering like big sort of information to you are those two people. And then they go on to do sort of like this lawyer like debate about whether or not like massaging another man's wife is like crossing a line, right?
Yeah, what does he say? Sticking your tongue in the holiest of holies is not even the same ballpark.
Yeah. No, we're not even playing the same game. There's so much really great, like memorable dialogue and like so many great pop culture references. A lot of really good metaphorical, like figurative statements that like help convey their message and to make it like memorable and to engage you. Like that's one of the things he does. It's just like it would be so easy to just be like, oh man, he massaged his feet. That's not okay. That's basically cheating. Like, no, that's like not cheating. No, fuck that. Like, let's give it some flavor. And I think part of that is what like, because when you're with your friends, and if you're like, someone who likes to like laugh or you like enjoy making jokes and stuff, like that shit, just like that sort of way of speaking, or there's something that feels like that makes you feel like you're hanging out with them there in that scene.
Totally. And I think also just like the mundane kind of conversation about Amsterdam in the opening convo here, leading into just them opening the truck and pulling guns out is very much like, oh shit. Like it takes you way more off guard that you were set up into this casual situation with two guys that seem relatively normal. And it's like, oh, now we're doing some gangster shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's also like the way that starts is like you're under them inside the trunk as the trunk opens, which is a really cool shot.
Yeah.
Really awesome way of kind of being like, oh, I'm so thrown off, like what's going on now.
That's a good point.
It's like we should have shotguns for this, and they arm up right to go up to the building. And he's also asking a lot of questions about Marcellus's wife, and
they're talking about how she was in a TV show pilot, which also will come back later.
Yeah, it'll come back. It'll come back later. And is apparently like a reference to some actual show that existed in like the 1970s.
Love it. Well, it kind of felt like a Charlie's Angels spin-off kind of thing, or like, rip-off.
Yes, but even more so, like there was
Like a
apparently a
direct
show called
one.
like Fox Force.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
great.
something like that.
That's funny. Yeah, I just have a lot of notes about this conversation. I give my mother a foot massage. Yeah, and just like, oh, well, so what do you think, dude? Do you, to me, it's pretty clear. Like, yeah, no, you shouldn't give someone in a relationship a foot massage, but also, like, yeah, where is the line of intimacy there? Like, you don't have to be romantic with someone to give them a foot massage, but like,
I think that's a conversation to be had between someone and their partner, like to know what your boundaries are, what you're comfortable with. It depends on like, so many different things, cultural context, like yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to it. And then like I don't know, just having an idea of how I mean, I've dated girls who are very like who don't really like to be like touched very much, right? And if like I came home and I saw my girlfriend who I know doesn't like to be like very like touched very much by strangers, this like person like giving her a foot massage, I might be kind of like, wow, well, like what's going on? But
yeah,
you know,
throw them off a building.
no, I would engage in a conversation, try to figure out what's going on. But yeah, I think it's very context dependent. I think it's very dependent upon like culture and how comfortable people are with physical contact, the nature of the relationship between these two people, how long they've known each other, if they are close friends. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak like, unilaterally on it at all.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I like that they have a moment when they finally decide it's time, because at first they go to the door and they're like, oh, 7:22 a.m., like too early, and then they like go off and finish their conversation, and then when they finally wrap up the conversation, Jules says, okay, let's get into character.
Yeah.
Which I think is so interesting that they're like, yo, we got a job to do, even if we're not like these hardcore tough guys that we're about to act like we are, like that's our role here.
I mean, yeah, for sure, but at the same time, they are like they're like they're like they're cold-blooded killers.
Yeah,
they're
no.
fucking hitmen.
I
you
just
know?
mean the fact that there's a switch they turn on and off or
yeah,
something
for sure.
like that is
for
really
sure.
fascinating.
No, I think it's good. I think it's a fun line. It's also metatextual, so there's that element of it.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, is friggin' Jules saying that? Is Samuel L. Jackson saying that to me, sitting in my seat watching this movie? It's a fun line to throw in.
And so, like, it's one of those things where you could be like, well, so why did they just have this huge conversation about giving a foot massage and blah, blah, blah? But then it culminates right before the doors answer with like, oh, I'm taking her out to dinner.
Yeah.
So now the stakes are set for
Well,
whenever this happens
he's like,
in the movie.
why are you so interested in Mia Wallace? Like, why are you asking so many questions?
And he's like, I'm taking her out. And he's like, take her out?
No, he says, I'm going to take care. He wants me to take care of her.
Oh, yeah.
And then, he does the point to the temple, take care of her. Very funny.
Yeah, I love it. And then just like, super iconic scene of them walking into this apartment. And
I mean, also just shout out to fucking Phil Lamar. Fucking voice acting legend.
Yeah.
Like, is the one who opens the door. It's funny because I think now in the like kind of like in the ethos now, if you're into film and all that and that sort of stuff, you know who Phil Lamar is. But like there was so many times, where I remember early sort of internet days or like early Facebook days, you'd see like a little like infographic that's like, did you know Phil Lamar, the guy who gets his head blown off, Marvin in like Pulp Fiction, is also like the voice of Hermes and like the voice of this person.
Yeah.
But like I feel like now people know, people know Phil Lamar. I also used to watch Mad TV when I was younger, and he was on there a lot.
Nice. Yeah, what a fun cast. Such like so many wild picks.
I mean, it's like there's like big actors in like so many like side bit parts.
Yeah,
in this,
it took
like,
me a long time to even realize Steve Buscemi shows up for that one very small role.
Where he's like Buddy Holly.
Yeah. Yeah, I love just the way they dominate this room. Like every part of it is just so funny, but like also awesome to behold. Just he's like the guy's on the couch and Jules is like, oh no, keep chilling. The
and like
goes back up on the couch.
There's the very visual aspect of them, like being like towering over them because they're all sitting.
Yeah.
Except for Marvin, of course, who is like kind of cowering in the corner.
Yeah. What are you eating? Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast. So good. Big Kahuna burger, the famous. That is a tasty burger.
Yeah, a lot of great classic dialogue in this for sure. There's another aspect of like the sort of power dynamic with him like it's so obvious too, just like the way that he's like, I'm going to eat your food,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna finish your Sprite too.
Yeah.
This is an homage to a scene from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where
Okay.
where a character eats another character's food and then like kills them. Like
That's
before,
great. I
before
think
they
I do
kill them.
remember that actually. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good like, again, this a lot of scenes like of dialogue are so much about like who holds the power and like how are we showing that throughout the scene. And this scene does a great job with that, you know? And as has been said several times, so many great, very quotable things.
Check out the big brain on Brett.
Check out the big brain on Brett. He does his whole speech. You know the speech.
Oh my god!
You can look up a YouTube video of him doing the speech. It's all very good. I think what's cool though is like right now we're like pointing to this thing of him like he does like have this sort of like religious interest, which he like says later on. You know, I just thought it was a cool thing to say before I kill someone.
Yeah.
But like it starts to mean something to him, and this is the moment. The first moment we see him say something is the last moment he says it without it meaning something to him, you know?
Yeah.
Like truly meaning something to him.
Yeah, that's a great point. You get to see the two sides of it. Yeah, just the way he like preaches it here versus like softly speaks it at the end, like amazing contrast. And I believe this is just a Tarantino invented Bible verse, if I'm not mistaken. This isn't actually in the Bible. What is it? Ezekiel 25:17.
Something like that, yeah. It's also such a, like, it's one of those things where, like, sure, the dialogue is so great, very memorable, but it is the performance that makes it, like...
Takes it to a whole nother level.
It takes it to a complete nother level. That unlocks it as this, like, fucking full-on performance, not just, like, really, like, snappy, like, well-written, memorable dialogue, right? And then the editing is so good, the framing is really good, the timing of the, like, close-up of his face... I did want to shout out, there's the part where he's talking to the guy, and he shoots the guy on the couch, and he says, I'm sorry, did I break your concentration? I was in a band in high school. We were called Snake Jackson, my junior year of high school, and we had a song called Concentration. It started with that, like, audio clip.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have, a couple other lines written down, just like, they speak English and what? That whole back and forth is so good. Does he look like a bitch? It's just like, oh, man, so iconic. I love it. And then we got the suitcase. It's very funny, the 666 combination and him opening it up, and it's just like this glow. Do you have any theories on what this is? I feel like I kind of have like, it's like the basic bitch theory, but it makes the most sense to me, which is that the suitcase contains Marcellus Wallace's soul. Yeah.
Yeah, we've all heard that before. I always thought that was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't find that super interesting, but the truth of the matter, what actually happened, I do think is very interesting. So originally it was supposed to be diamonds. That was what it was in the script, and people have theorized they were supposed to be the diamonds from Reservoir Dogs to kind of like be this connective tissue.
I love that.
But
because I think Vincent is supposed to be the brother of the guy who goes crazy in Reservoir Dogs.
Michael Madsen was supposed to play Vincent Vega in the movie, the guy who plays Mr. Blonde, but he had already signed up to play Virgil Earp, Wyatt Earp's brother, in the Wyatt Earp movie, and the producers of that movie wouldn't let him do both movies, so he couldn't do Pulp Fiction, so John Travolta ended up being Vincent Vega. Although Daniel Day-Lewis was very interested and wanted to be Vincent Vega. Anyway, so it was going to be diamonds. Then Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery decide, that's kind of lame. Like, I don't like diamonds. So they're like, you know what? Let's just leave it up to the viewer. It can be whatever. Like, they can fill it in. Like, we'll just never show it. And then at, like, a last second, they were like, you know what? Let's also put an orange light coming out of it.
Yeah, I think the two things that lead me towards it being his soul theory.
Are you going to say the Band-Aid thing?
The Band-Aid and then the 666.
He cut himself shaving.
Oh, that's so funny. But like, it just looks so intentional in the shots. But yeah, it's just, I guess it's just circumstances that have led to all that.
He cut himself shaving his head.
I mean, I do kind of like the soul read just because so much of this movie is about, like I was saying, the choices we make, and that the fact that his soul is being carried around through all these shenanigans and like.
Yeah, I think this whole thing is fine. It's just like what I like about what the truth unlocks for you is that it is whatever you desire. It is a representation of like desire.
Yeah.
What's in the suitcase is desire.
Yeah.
It's motivation. It's want. It is like this ultimate sort of like MacGuffin
Yeah.
almost in a way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love that for it. I think that's great. It's almost like you open the suitcase, you see whatever you want to see in there.
Right.
Like,
Which
and I
fits
thi-
like very
I
interestingly.
think that's cool because the whole movie is about motivation and what do you want and what are you trying to get out of this. And, I think it's cool. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's like almost like, yeah.
No, I like that. Especially it makes me think of Pumpkin's line later where he's like, "Is that what I think it is?" And Jules is just like, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah, it literally is. It's whatever you think it is.
Yeah, that's good. Yep, we get the whole amazing speech. Then they blow him to hell, and that's kind of the end of this kind of like prologue, not one of the titled chapters. We get 3 titled chapters after this,
Yeah.
starting with Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife.
Does it say that or does it say Mia Wallace?
I think I wrote down Marcellus Wallace's wife, so I think it does say that.
Okay, I wrote down Vincent Vega and Mia Wallace,
Oh, I
but
could be
I,
wrong.
I wrote down something wrong at the beginning. I could write down something wrong here. Who knows? Who knows? You tell us, viewers. Comment down below. Does it say
Please.
Marcellus Wallace's wife or Mia Wallace?
Please, we must know.
Because I have criticisms. Either way.
The freaking this. Oh yeah, the conversation with Butch here again. It's just like every single scene. It just feels iconic to me.
Very cool framing.
yeah.
It's just Bruce Willis alone in the
Uh-huh.
frame. It's a very, very red scene.
Yeah.
And we basically, you can intuit that what is being told to him is he's a boxer. He's being asked to throw a fight. And then it is basically like, he comes out and like says it at the end. But like for this whole time, we don't see any part of Marcellus Wallace. We just hear his voice.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we get to see the back of his head with that Band-Aid across the back.
Yep.
The place where they sucked his soul out of.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's dope. I love it. It's so strong. And it is like, again, like not until he like comes out and says exactly what he wants him to do, which is
Yeah.
like, you're going to throw the fight. Do you finally see like his head?
Yeah, and just the way I love Bruce Willis's performance here because you can just like, especially knowing this character, you can see the anger like brewing underneath the
Yeah,
surface,
for
but
sure.
he's so like just keeping his demeanor. Like yeah, he's saying stuff like "You came close, but you never made it."
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. There's that bubbling under the surface. Is really well done. Shouts out to Mr. Willis.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that great line: "The night of the fight, you might feel a slight sting. That's pride fucking with you."
The way it comes back is great as
it's
well.
so good. Band-Aid on neck. Then we got
Band-Aid on neck, check.
Vincent and Jules arriving in their silly clothes.
I love that. Yeah, I love the way that they show up, and you have Paul. The character's name was originally English Bob, which is a reference to
Unforgiven.
to Unforgiven.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Interesting. I
But
love
then
that
he
movie.
said, "My name's Paul. This is between y'all." So they
I like
ended
Paul.
up putting his name as Paul, and that's actually the like actor's name, Paul Calderon.
Oh, that's
But
funny.
I love how like he reacts to them, and you're like he's like, "Oh man," like he says their names, and then he's like, "What's up with the like look?" You're like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And then cut to them in the clothes, setting up the hijinks for later on.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of watching because I don't remember when I first watched it, just like getting to step into the idea of like, man, imagine this is your first time watching it and you're like, yeah, why are they dressed like that?
Yeah.
That's not how I saw them last. They should be
Yeah.
in like suits, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so great. Because I remember like little bits. I was mostly just kind of like lost my first time because I was like, what is this movie about? Kind of like what you were saying. Like, what are the themes? What is this like? How does it all connect? You know? And I feel like I'm still puzzling that out.
We got the classic Quentin Tarantino reference to Red Apple cigarettes as well.
Yes. Yeah, I love. Have you heard this theory of that there are 2 universes within Tarantino's movies? One is like the actual world, and then the other is like the movie universe within. So like Kill Bill is like the movie.
A movie in that world.
In that world, yeah.
I think I have, yeah.
But just like I love the little details, like Red Apple cigarettes being this kind of like thing that connects all the movies together and stuff like that, you know, because it would also make sense to be in like something like Kill Bill as product placement, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love that.
Yeah, it makes sense. But it doesn't make sense in our world because you cannot advertise cigarettes in the movies in the U.S.
That's right. That's right.
And then we do have this sort of like Vincent and Butch have this moment where They do not like.
Yeah,
They do not seem to like each other.
it's another like great, like just extremely well written moment because they were just giving Vincent shit for taking Mia out, and he's already all worked up, and now he just lets
Yeah.
it go on the guy next to him, which says so much about him, but like it also just like totally fits into
And
this
then,
moment.
Yeah, like also like giving the sort of foreshadowing of the moment when he like comes out of the bathroom later on and gets fucking murdered.
Yep.
He gets friggin' murked.
Yeah, he calls him Punchy, and then a reference I didn't get. I know it's a boxer reference, but like Palunka or something like that. I forget what he said.
Oh yeah, he calls him Palooka.
Palooka?
I think that's like a clown's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's a kind of. Yeah, I don't know.
That's funny. And then I think the next thing we get is the piercings. The dealer's wife talking about her 18 piercings.
Yeah, it's Jodie, who's played by Rosanna Arquette, and her sister, I believe, Alexis Arquette, is in the movie later on. Pre-transition, she's the one in the bathroom with the gun.
Love it.
Yeah,
She
siblings in the movie.
she's a great performance. It's like a little hot, but like I don't like in terms of just like intensity, but she's such an like interesting side character that every time she's in the scene, it's like she's adding a lot to it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think she's like, yeah, you get the setup of her here, and she's supposed to kind of be like a meme of a person in a way. Like,
Yeah.
you can pretty easily be like, oh, yeah, she's like to alternative things. She's talking about how like piercing, with a gun, that's against the whole point of piercing.
Yeah.
She's like, seems like someone you might meet, like, if you're out at a bar in Capitol Hill. But yeah, so then we realize Vince is there to buy heroin.
Yeah.
Lance is his heroin dealer. Quentin Tarantino was trying to decide whether to play Jimmy or Lance when he wrote the script. And then he ended up playing Jimmy because he wanted to focus on directing for the Mia OD scene later on.
That makes a lot of sense.
But
Interesting.
yeah, Vince is offered 3 different options for heroin. He ends up spending $1,500 to buy 3 grams of the monster heroin.
Yeah, I
The
love this whole
intense stuff.
breakdown. Yeah, he's Lance has some good lines here too. He's like, "I'll take the Pepsi challenge with that Amsterdam stuff any day or whatever."
Yeah, because I mean, essentially what Vince is trying to say is like, I've been in Amsterdam. There's a lot of really good heroin in Amsterdam. I'm used to doing the best fucking heroin there is these days, dude. So you really got to wow me.
Absolutely. And then foreshadowing here, they're out of balloons as a baggie, all right.
Also, the strength of the heroin is like a big,
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
sort of like foreshadowing thing. I just want to say this, and I know what this is going to imply about my character, but I want to say, I think if it were for real, I think you might be able to tell in real life a little bit better if something was heroin or coke, and I think people would be a little bit more cautious, I think, like, than it seems in the movie. It works in the movie,
Yeah.
right? I just want to call it out, hey, all my experienced drug users out there, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Do you think you would be able to tell the difference based on the way it smells or like looks?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I just want to
No,
mention
it's a good
here.
point.
I
It's a
just
good
want to
point.
mention it up top. I'm a degenerate. Call me a fucking degenerate. I just want to point it out. But anyway, yeah. And then Vince is like, "Can I shoot up in here?" And we get this sort of like heroin montage with like the driving. There's another reference here. There's a 1944 movie called Murder My Sweet. With the driving parts at least, not the heroin. So
I love
much.
the surfing music over this. It's so beautifully
And
shot.
then there's he's not actually driving, right? It's like you have the rear projection, the front projection.
It looks great.
And it's like black and white as well, which is cool. And that's all directly referencing Murder My Sweet.
Wow. Yeah, just like the shot of the needle with the blood slowly getting like pressed in. Like
Yeah.
it just looks so good. Just such a vibe. This movie's such a vibe.
Yeah, you definitely are like, damn. Like for a second, I'm like, damn, dude. Should I get into heroin?
He's
like, is
having
that
a
cool?
good time,
Is that cool, man? Should I get
Just
into
drive
heroin?
around in my Malibu in California.
Yeah, I mean, seems like a not great idea, but whatever.
Absolutely. Vince arrives to pick Mia up.
Yes. Yeah, he gets to the house. I want to shout out the whole scene with her like tying him over the speaker and he's high. We get the classic gif of him walking into the room and not knowing where the voice is coming from. That's all fun, especially kind of like pointing to how rich this dude is that
Yeah.
they have like this room where she's like watching,
Yeah.
doing blow before he gets there. But she says warmer disco,
Yeah.
which is a direct line, a quote from Saturday Night Fever,
Oh, really?
which is a movie that I don't know if you know this, John Travolta starred in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, is that kind of his start to fame?
No, he okay, so this is funny because I think his big break was Welcome Back Kotter, which was a TV show. And actually, Mia says later on that her bit with her character, she's going to do a joke every episode. That's like a reference to Welcome Back Kotter.
Really?
Like
That's
that
funny.
was a bit on Welcome Back Kotter.
That's
yeah.
funny. Yeah, I love the way they set up Mia here. They don't show her face until they go to the restaurant.
It's cool. Cool shots of like
Yeah.
her like mysteriously kind of like
just like her bright red lips on the intercom
reminds me
and
of
everything.
Mulholland Drive a little bit, like
Yeah.
this sort of like secretive cabal, like
Yeah.
overseeing what's going on.
Yeah. And like she leaves him a note at first, and then it's read in her voice, and then like
Yeah, it's also funny because she leaves a note, then immediately he walks in, and she's like over the intercom, right? Like
yeah,
it is
watching from the cameras.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and then she has Vince make a drink while she does blow, setting up everything there. And then they go to Jackrabbit Slim's.
Go to Jackrabbit
maybe
Slim's.
like the most fun made up restaurant ever.
It is a cool shot, the way that the like you see her like feet walking out, and she's like, "All right, let's go," and then you see the car pull into frame,
Yeah.
like the hood of it, and then that's when you see her face for the first time.
Yeah.
She does say something in the car when they arrive at Jackrabbit Slim's that she says it's like something about an Elvis person. Apparently, there's a deleted scene in the movie where Mia says to Vince, like, everyone's either a Beatles person or an Elvis person.
Oh,
And
interesting.
she's sure that Vince is
An
a
Elvis guy.
Elvis person.
That's great.
Which also, like, when I was reading these like little random factoids, it said later on Jules calls Tim Robbins' character Pumpkin Ringo, which is like, so he's like, you know, a Beatles guy.
It's so funny. I was like, that's such a like, it's just because he's British or like.
This is funny though, right?
Yeah.
Also, dude, there's like again the chalk. We have to point out all of the insane references here. This one is wild. The square with their fingers.
Which is
that-
actually a rectangle.
Yes, yes, it is.
gotta
It is
throw that out
actually a
there.
rectangle. You're right. That is a reference to a Flintstones episode called "Girls' Night Out" from like 1960.
That's so random.
Yeah, it is so random. This
I
guy
love
like
it.
watched so much fucking TV
Yeah,
and
just
so many
absorbed it
fucking
all.
movies.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and I just this amazing sequence here of them walking in and the camera following.
and talk about like references. This is like this scene is
yeah.
chock full. All the movie posters are references to all his favorite movies.
Yeah.
All of the like people in there are dressed as different celebrities who've been in like classic Hollywood movies. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Steve Buscemi as Buddy Holly is fucking wild too.
Yeah, I didn't realize it for the longest time. Yeah, I love that little role from him. I love how just bored he is with his
Yeah.
job. It's such a fantastical place, and he's just like, yeah, what
Yep.
can I get you?
Yeah, and he's just being like a typical like server in a fucking Tarantino movie.
Yeah, I love it.
What's wild is, do you know the line with the milkshake where he goes Martin Lewis or Amos and Andy?
Yeah.
That question is, do you want vanilla or do you want chocolate? Because Martin and Lewis are two white comedians, and Amos and Andy are two black comedians.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's insane.
That's insane. Yeah.
It's insane.
I just assumed it was something I didn't understand, but that's.
I mean, it
well,
was something you didn't understand.
yeah. Well, yeah.
But now you know it. Now you know. Now
that's
it's something
wild.
you understand.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is very wild. She orders vanilla, if you were curious.
Good. I mean, chocolate's the right choice, but that's fine.
I mean, vanilla's a flavor. I think vanilla's a great shake. I don't think there is a correct choice.
Just
Saying
kidding.
there's a
I'm
correct
just
choice, that's
kidding.
fucked up, dude. Come after him, dude. Vanilla lovers, rise up, dude. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
I like that he calls it a wax museum with a pulse.
It's a fun line. It's a good line. It's
good
a
line.
great way of like explaining it. It's almost
Yeah.
like, did he come up with the line and then design the place afterwards? You know?
Right, yeah, and then just like that the way they ask for how you want your meat cooked, burnt to a crisp, or bloody as hell.
And they only have those two options.
Yeah, I love that.
That's so silly.
That's so good. Yeah, $5 shake.
And then this is the part where we hear that he was in Amsterdam for 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's like he must have done something. Like,
Yeah,
right,
probably doing drug stuff out there. I don't know.
well, I imagine like, they're like, oh, he's just chilling. He's like a professional hitman. It's not like he got back and he's like, now I'm gonna become a hitman. So
Yeah.
what I imagine is the implication is there's a job that maybe went, Not that it went wrong, but he
Oh,
needed
he was
to.
in hiding.
Yeah, like he needed to avoid the
Interesting.
police for a while.
That makes a lot of sense too.
like he's laying low.
Well,
you know?
that would tie in with like
Reservoir Dogs.
yeah, with Vincent Vega and everything. Yeah, interesting. Or what? I forget his.
Mr. Blonde.
Yeah, we do get his name, and I think his last name is Vega, but I can't remember.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
So he's rolling her cig. She's like, "Can you roll me one of those cowboys?" And like immediately, there's chemistry,
She
sexual
says,
tension there.
will you roll me one of those cowboy? And he says, you can have this one, cowgirl.
Yeah. She gets into the Fox Force 5 pilot, which all feels very like I wonder how long this was brewing in his head that led to Kill Bill. Like, did he come up with this concept? Like you said, it is based off something. Do you think he just saw that and he like always wanted to do a kind of Charlie's Angels spin-off thing, or does it come from here? Especially that Uma Thurman is, the bride in Kill Bill. It's like, I don't know, gets me thinking.
Like, you think that he's trying to set up Kill Bill that far back?
Not that he's trying to set it up, but just like if that got the gears turning to getting him think about this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that he like saw that when he was a kid and he was like, oh man, I would love to do something like that.
Right.
But I also feel like at the same time, Kill Bill is very much not like that. Like,
it's like the aftermath of a show like that, right? It's like they all turned on each other or whatever, and now she's getting revenge.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because are they supposed to be a group of assassins? Is that what she says? Yeah.
Yeah. But like one of them's a knife specialist, one of them's blah blah blah, which is all the things in Kill Bill. Wants to know the pilot joke. I love this little setup. And he says, "I promise I won't laugh," and she says, "That's what I'm afraid of."
Which is a good. It's a good bit because it's a joke, Yeah. And so I get it. I do wanna point out a couple, like one big reference here is the new wave. There's Bande Aparte, I think is what it's called, which is a band of outsiders. And also the other movie I think is what is it fucking called? I can't remember. But anyway, Anna Karenina is this she was this Dutch French actress, and she was in some Godard films. Her hair, like, they're kind of trying to reference a little bit with Mia's hair.
Oh, interesting.
And then the whole dance scene, they watched the dance scene from Band of Outsiders, which is a Godard film. Like, and that's what like inspired. Like, it's not like they copied the choreography, but Tarantino was like, "All right, watch this. Like, I want you to kind of keep this in mind when you're dancing."
Wow. Yeah, I love the dance sequence so much. It feels so. It's kind of like what I've been talking about, the dialogue, where it feels so natural, but also just like so much larger than life. Like it doesn't feel like people would dance this way, but also I could totally believe they would dance this way.
Yeah, for sure. There's also like, I think again, this sort of like 90s, like, I feel like they were very into like the 70s, and the 70s were very into like the 50s. So there's almost like this indirect thing where I'm like 90s into the 50s, like this. Yeah, I don't know, but it is great. It is funny. It's also funny that they fucking win. Like, and I love that. The whole setup of it is great too, right? She's like, "All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then I'll come back." And like, she gets back. And, well, she does coke in the bathroom.
Yeah.
She does the whole "I said goddamn."
Yeah, which is just permanently in repeat in my head
And
every time I
like,
hear someone say "goddamn."
They announce the dance contest, and she's like, "I want to dance, and I want to win, and you have to do that because my husband is your boss."
Yeah.
And they show them dance, and it's a great scene. Very fun. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
And I like the way that it just slowly fades to black, and then we come back up, and it's them, like, walking towards the house, and she's holding the trophy.
Yeah.
All you need to know.
I do want to shout out his performance when he takes a bite of the milkshake. And
he takes a sip of the milkshake.
He looks so...
He takes a bite of the milkshake.
He looks so fucking high, dude. It's like such a... Like, one of his eyes is, like, rolling back while the other is, like, closed. It's, like, the most, like...
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, this dude might actually be high right now.
Yeah.
He looks so high.
I do love him saying, okay, like, kind of acknowledging, like, oh, this shake is worth $5.
Yeah.
Shout out to Beth's had a $6.50 shake, which is normal now, but they had a $6.50 shake. They came with like a brownie on top of it and shit. and I ordered it once. Beth's is this diner in Seattle, in like North Seattle on like Aurora.
Famous diner, yeah.
They used to be open 24 hours. Then it closed, then it came back, and now it closes at like 3 p.m. like all other diners.
Boo.
But yeah. If you're ever in Seattle, try out that 650 shake. Say Fredo sent you from Cinema Forecast.
They'll know who you're talking about.
They'll know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and there's just like a lot of sexual tension building here. She's like chewing on her cherry forever, and like, isn't it more exciting when you don't have permission? Like trying to kind of rouse that conversation about what happened with Tony Rocky Horror, so you get confirmation there that. She doesn't know why he was thrown out the window, which is kind of fits into the perspective is everything theme, right? Like we saw one version of the story here, and now we're getting a totally different context of it, which humanizes Mia and Marcellus a lot.
I thought it was cool too. I love how she's like, because this is so true. Like we often attribute like gossiping to like groups of women, but I just kind of love how it's kind of showing like, no, you get any group of people together.
Yeah, well, she has that line.
Yeah, you're worse than a sewing circle. Yes, that's what she says. But like again, I just love that they're like that it's blown up into this thing bigger than they thought. Oh, the thing too that she says something about sharing silence like comfortably. Yeah, that is a reference as well to another Anna Karenina role in this movie from 1962 called Vivre sa vie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that scene. That's one of the most like real moments in the whole conversation, right? And then the way it ties back coming up here. Yeah, dance competition. I love the way they come back home.
Okay. Yeah, it is in a way. It's a little. There's parts of it that are a little like pick me, a little like manic pixie dream-esque, that I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but it does get me thinking about our relationship with people and just like how, it's true how often we feel like we need to fill the silence instead of just like sit comfortably with each other.
Like, I'm like, there's a part of me that wants to be generous and like, is like, well, there's a couple different things. I think there's the read of like, this is kind of like a genuine thing and like, it is really like he's portraying this and he wants you to be like, wow, she's thoughtful. Or there's the other read, which is like he wants you to be like, oh, she's like that kind of a person who like wants to be like quirky and fun and spontaneous. And then there's my considerations about like this seems a little tired now. Perhaps back in '94 it wasn't that tired. And there's the other part of it, which is like, or was it already tired and then like he's just playing on it, right? Like I think none of the reads detract from it at all, right? Like I think you can walk away from that scene being like, and I feel like this is probably like the evolution a lot of like people go through, like who are attracted to women, like when they see Mia and they're like, oh, she's like hot and cool and mysterious. And when you're younger, you're like, oh man, she's hot and cool and mysterious, and she says these like cool things. And as you get older, you're like, oh, you're like those girls who I thought were hot and cool and mysterious, but we're just kind of like vapid and like superficial,
Yeah, I could see that. I love that.
Because I think again, she is kind of like this, a little bit of like I think as with several like female characters in movies who are like meant to be like this, she's like a temptation, right? But also maybe sort of like a romantic interest. Like they are this like cup of desire, right? Like you put whatever you want into them. That's what you think you're gonna get out of them, and that's what like other films have like commented on. I
always find her character interesting in that we get a lot of scenes with her, and yet I feel like I don't know her super well in a good way, where I feel like they give you enough where I'm like, how does a woman like this end up with Marcellus, right? Like, how does she justify the morality of this situation and stuff? And there's a lot of little pieces that they kind of just leave hanging. Like, how much does she know? How much does she not know?
Oh, I mean, I think she knows. She knows a lot. About what's going on.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I don't
think she has a problem with the morality of what he does. Like, I think that she's someone who enjoys luxury. I mean, I think the cocaine is a use of like showing people who are into opulence, right?
Yeah.
It's been said, it's been documented, Quentin Tarantino likes to do a little bit of coke himself, but I still think that sort of usage of it in like film or like what it tells you about a character can be sort of this like, I'm someone who likes glitzy things. I like money. I like living comfortably.
Right.
So I think, it's pretty easy in the whole like sort of classical gangster like story to be like, she doesn't really care what happens as long as like, she gets to live her life the way that she thinks she deserves to live her life,
Right. Yeah. I guess part of that is just like the failed actress thing and stuff like that. Like it gets my mind ticking. Like
Tracks even more for like a mob wife to me. Like just feels very of like
Yeah.
that same sort of vein. And I think that is what
Yeah.
he's referencing
I think
and drawing upon.
pretty much everyone in this movie is like an archetype of some sort from something else, right? That's being twisted. I mean, that's like the stories themselves, right? It's a hit, the aftermath of a hit, right?
Yeah.
And then like a boxing match thrown. You don't see the boxing match, you see the aftermath of the boxing match, and all that. Same with Reservoir Dogs, right? Like it's a movie about a bank robbery. You never see the bank robbery. It's all the events surrounding it, right? So it's
For sure.
taking these very standard things and then kind of deconstructing
Word.
it in the aftermath.
I guess what I'm saying is that she does like, I don't think that there's a ton of like, I think there's a lot of depth to the performance like that Uma Thurman gives, but I don't think that there's necessarily like intended to be like this great like ocean of mystery behind this character Mia Wallace.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying I'm intrigued. Like I could see her being fleshed out a lot more and like pulling me in even more.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening with like any character in a good movie, like
Sure.
she's not the person who I'm like if I had to, again, something you love, if I had to rank the people like that I most wanted to learn more about, she's not at the top of the list,
Sure.
In this film specifically.
That's fair. That's fair. They come back from the dance. They have is that what you call an uncomfortable silence? I don't know what you call that.
Yeah, and then he's gonna go to the bathroom and take a piss. She's like, that's TMI, I don't really care. And then in this movie, every time that Vince goes to the bathroom, something bad happens.
We all need mirrors.
We all need mirrors to show us who we are. Something bad happens every time he goes to the bathroom.
That's a really good point, though. Yeah.
He goes to the bathroom. She snorts his heroin, thinking it's coke.
That's such a good point.
He goes to the bathroom. The fucking place gets
the robbery.
The robbery happens. He goes to the bathroom. He dies.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Poor guy, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's such a piece of shit, but you do end up seeing him as like a person, right? Like
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. I mean,
like I do feel bad for him every time he dies.
Yeah, that's what's fun about like crime movies. It's like like sure they're criminals, they're like bad people, but they're the people on the screen. Like, and I've heard them talking like normal people. I identify with them.
Yeah.
It's something I think inherently fun about like stories about like bad people, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just a testament to doing it well, right? Because there's definitely
for sure
a way where you just
it's appetizing, like it's it's palatable. He's like a guy who you're like, oh, he's funny. Like I could see me like shooting the shit with him and Jules.
Yeah, you could. He seems like a typical guy you'd meet until he's not, until he's doing really fucked up things.
Yeah, I love him in the bathroom. He's like, you're just gonna go home, you're gonna jerk off, And I love that we have the whole like deliberation.
Yeah.
Mia snorts the heroin, way too much heroin, and like immediately like is not having a good time. And then I love that when he comes out of the bathroom, the way that it's shot, just her face on the floor.
Yeah.
And you hear him, he's like, I'm gonna have to go home, and you're like. It's funny because he's made the right decision. He's like, I'm not going to be tempted. I'm just going to go home. And then, he realizes what's happened and the whole fucking chaos ensues.
Being loyal is very important, he says, pointing at himself in the mirror.
Yeah, pretty fucking funny. Good stuff.
It's great.
I also love that it, like, that sort of aspect of how it comes into play as this, like, temptation. And then the fucking, then the OD happens and it's like,
completely subverted. Yeah,
done,
everything has been building up to like, will they or won't they? And then it's like, no, that's not important.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, love it. Crazy driving. I love this whole scene.
I also like the way that this scene, he's on the phone with Eric Stoltz's character Lance, and then like it collides into the scene, like suddenly he's there. It's really good. He like hears the car and looks out the door.
He crashes into his house.
He's eating Lance is eating this cereal that I think is like now defunct called Fruit Brute.
I noticed that. I was like, what the hell
He's
is
also
that?
watching this old comedy, and for this part Quentin Tarantino wanted to get the Three Stooges, but he couldn't license it, so he got this movie which has like stars a guy who was in a lot of Three Stooges like episodes or whatever.
I noticed the girl on the couch like felt like a little out of place in what she was doing during the phone call, where she's just sitting
smoking
there.
a bong.
Yeah, but then she just like hits it, and then she's just kind of like staring down at the bong. Like I was just like watching her the whole scene. It was just like felt very like awkward and unnatural.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I think she's Irish. She was in the movie The Commitments, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They're looking for the.
they're looking for the black medical book.
Yeah, this
He
whole
sends Jody.
conversation.
Also, like Jody's just like screaming, like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah.
You said I thought you told those guys not to fucking call this late.
Yeah.
It's like I did.
Just the chaos of this
Yeah.
scene. It just like
It's really good.
It's so tense, dude. I remember the first time I saw this, just being like, "Oh my
Yeah.
fucking god, I'm gonna have a panic attack right now."
It's very believable too,
Yeah.
because like I don't know how many times I've been in the middle of doing some shit, like dealing with something on the phone, and then suddenly like somebody starts asking me questions about what I'm doing on the phone. I'm like, dude, like actually like a lot. So if you could shut the fuck up, like I love you so much, like you're a very important person to me, but I need you to shut the fuck up because I need to focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the needle was comically large or if that's just really like the type of needle you need to get that deep into your chest.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Because it's fucking huge, dude.
Yeah,
it's
apparently
like a foot long.
The speech that he gives about how to do it is based on like a similar speech from a documentary.
Wow.
Yeah. Just so many weird weird references.
That's so
also, did you
strange.
notice that Operation and Life, the board games, are both on the table?
Oh, I
in
think
the
that's been
background?
pointed out to me, but
Yeah.
I didn't notice. I
Very
love that.
silly,
I love that.
but a fun little detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way that she like 3, 2, 1, boom.
Yeah.
And the way she comes back to life. Fucking sick. Really, really well done. Really like impactful
Yeah.
as well. Like where you're like you almost want to like stand up out of your seat, like
Yeah.
when Mia just like rises, and the way she like
The
rides
performance,
around,
the
yeah.
scream she
This is
gives.
very good. This is very
I love
good.
the stoner on the couch, just like clutching her chest, like, oh my god. And then Jody, is that her name? She's
Yeah.
just like smiling like a demon the whole. She's like cool.
Yeah, she was like, that was trippy. That was trippy. And you see her kind of little like hippie brain being like, whoa, dude, like she came back to life. Like, also I looked it up. The character's name in Reservoir Dogs is Victor Vega.
Okay, yeah. Vegas. Yeah, and then the cut to them just like driving back home, and like she just looks like on the board, like the brink of death in
Yeah,
shotgun.
she looks kind of Corpse Bride-esque.
Yeah.
And then pulling up to the house, like not really saying anything until like, John Travolta's like, so what's up here? And she's
Yeah.
like, dude, I would get in just as much trouble as you would. So let's just never talk about it again.
And he's like, I highly doubt you would get as much trouble as me, which is
Yeah.
probably true. Yeah.
Probably true. Yeah.
They shake on it.
I mentioned it before, but yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, who shares a birthday with Uma Thurman, considered
Oh.
for this role.
Yeah, that's
Well, actually, not even really considered. He wanted to play the role, but Quentin Tarantino was like, no, I want John Travolta.
it's amazing. Well, I mean, I'm not even a huge John Travolta fan, but I do feel like he just fits right into this role like a glove.
It is one of his sort of like iconic roles, I
Yeah.
would say.
I love Daniel Day-Lewis, so now I'm like, oh, what would that be like? That's crazy to think about.
It is crazy to think about. It is funny to think about
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out, he's wearing like, I had always thought he's like in a suit, but he's wearing jeans.
Oh.
And he's wearing like a bolo tie with
Yeah,
his like
I
blazer.
guess he is, huh?
It's not. I like the look. It's a
Yeah.
good look,
Casual, but not too casual.
Yeah, no, he's yeah. Love a bolo tie.
We get the Fox Force 5 joke, something about a little tomato falling behind, and the dad stomps on it, ketchup.
Yeah.
Bad
joke,
but great way to tie the whole night together, like a little moment of sweetness after all that horror, and like the bond they had and what could have been maybe in another life and all that. Very effective.
Yeah. Also, Uma Thurman apparently originally turned down the role of Mia Wallace.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but Quentin Tarantino wanted her so bad for her beautiful feet that he personally called her and read her the script.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The part about calling her and reading her the script is apparently a story that is circulated, but
I believe it.
I believe it.
Yeah, this whole sequence, Butch is watching, like now we're back in the past.
It's
with
a cartoon, a very
little
old cartoon.
Butch watching a cartoon. this whole fucking Christopher Walken speech is so fucking funny, dude.
It is, but it's funny because of like it is that sort of like tragedy comedy like thing.
It's the absurdity of it, but it's like mired. Like it's so good because at the same time it really does set this thing, like this watch up, as something irreplaceable. Like the thing, because okay, great grandfather got it. And then World War I, and then his grandfather got in World War II.
As he shipped out for World War I.
Yeah, and then World War II, his grandfather died and had a like a Japanese sailor or something return it to.
I think he said it was like a different soldier.
Okay.
Yeah, because he says
he had a Japanese sounding name, so that's why I assumed.
It's not. It's like a Polish last name. It's
really?
Winaki. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Winaki. It's like the last name and his rank, which is like he's like. Something, he's like a gunner or something, is a reference to the movie Air Force from 1943.
Oh, wow.
The amount of time spent by Christopher Walken in the POW camp is a reference to the 1977 movie Rolling Thunder. It is also, in and of itself, a reference to the Christopher Walken movie where he is in Vietnam, Reindeer Games.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yeah. Also, I found out earlier this year that Christopher Walken... okay, well, let me put this story like this. My mom used to be a travel agent, okay? And one day we're talking, and she's like, "Yeah, I used to be the travel agent for that one guy. What's his name? You know, he talks that way, and like, and she said a couple things. I was like, Christopher Walken, and she was like, yeah, him. And I was like, what the fuck? Did you ever meet him? And she's like, no, I mostly dealt with his like assistant until there was this one time that like. He was like upset about something, so he came in like personally. I was like, "So you did meet him?" She's like, "Yeah, just once though."
Wow.
I was like, "Wild,
That
Christopher
is wild.
Walken." And the way she was talking about it was like, he was like,
so casual.
Whatever, you know.
Wow.
My mom and dad also have talked about how they used to like see Matt growing all the time, like when he was doing
Simpsons creator,
Life
right?
is Hell. Yeah. Simpsons creator and guy who wrote on the Lolita Express.
Oh.
Along with Stephen Hawking, you know.
Goodness.
Dude, I think did they have they said Noam Chomsky too, which is like that one hurt the most, dude.
Oof. Yeah, it's a bad time out there. I'm afraid to tell you what.
No, this is from like years ago though. I think this is from like the initial Epstein stuff.
Gotcha. I think so much of what makes this scene so funny is just his delivery of the lines. He's like, 5 long years he wore this watch up his ass.
I think he wore it up his ass for 2 years.
Yeah. And now I present
the way
it to
he
you.
died, the way his dad died was of dysentery.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah. This just really cracks me up.
I hope he washed it and disinfected it afterwards. The guy died of dysentery.
And the way little Butch is like looking at him with his hand on his fist, just like so serious.
Also, I had
so
remembered
funny.
this scene differently, which is that the guy then offers him the watch, and in my memory, the kid is kind of like reticent because it was up someone's butt.
He just snatches
he
it.
immediately grabs it. Yeah.
And Butch wakes up.
Yeah, it's actually like a really cool transition
Yeah.
of him grabbing the watch and then cut to boom, grown Butch waking up right before the match.
Night of the fight.
Yeah.
And we see him have a nightmare later too. Do you think he has nightmares of like imagining what his father went through, or because it's tied in with war too, or there's war on the TV when he wakes up and he's like, it's
there's
too
like
early
this
for
weird
that.
motorcycle movie on the
Yeah.
TV, and I don't know. It seems like he definitely has some sort of like trauma, right?
Yeah.
Another note here is Butch's character is somewhat based on Marlon Brando's character from On the Waterfront. You know, like sort of washed up boxer.
Love it. We get the title card for our second act, I guess. The
Gold Watch.
Good stuff. I love this weird ass taxi driver. He jumps out the window.
I love how quickly, like you said, they come, they get him, they wake him up, then like boom, it cuts to the title card, and then we hear that Butch has killed Wilson, the other boxer.
You're
like they announce him and then immediately said, "Well, it's over, folks."
Yeah, it's her listening to the radio.
Yeah.
In the car.
Yeah. Her name is Angela Jones. Tarantino saw her in this short called Curdled and wanted to have her in the movie, so he wrote this role for her as the taxi driver.
That's one thing I really love about Tarantino is I feel like it doesn't feel like he's just trying to get as much star power as possible. He's just like, I think you would be a weird little role, like fit for this
Yeah.
role.
So the way that it worked is in Curdled, she plays this character who helps people clean up after murders and is kind of like obsessed with murder.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically wrote that character in as a cab driver here because she's like
Yeah,
obsessed. She's like,
really
you
weird
killed
about
someone.
it.
Yeah.
She's like getting aroused. It seems like.
She's like, she has a morbid curiosity. You're like, this lady seems like she wants to try her hands at killing someone.
Well, yeah,
potentially.
because she's like, what did it feel like? And you're like, oh my goodness. His whole introduction is so interesting. He's so prickly, right? Like in some ways, he's like the most innocent crime-wise, but like maybe the biggest asshole of the main characters.
He's very grumpy.
He's very grumpy,
which works really well for Bruce Willis.
but no remorse for killing the other boxer.
No, yeah, I mean, he says on the phone in like the next scene that he's like, he had been a better boxer.
Yeah, enough about the unfortunate whatever, and more about the very fortuitous
Unfortunate
me.
Wilson, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also want to shout out another reference. This one's a more recent one. 1991 Night on Earth is where a lot of the inspiration for the dialogue and the shot composition in the cab. And again, we're doing the rear projection stuff, which looks really cool. I like it a lot. It's one of those things where like you know it when you see it, but it doesn't detract from it. It's not like I'm taken out of the movie.
Yeah.
I love it as a stylistic choice.
Totally. And I guess we do, between him jumping into the cab and the cab conversation, we do get a little scene of Vincent and Paul arriving at the scene where Mia says, "What's up?" Like, "Thanks for dinner, Vincent." And then we get Marcellus Wallace has some great lines here. He's like, "If he goes to Indochina, I want someone waiting in a bowl of rice to to pop a cap in him." So funny.
But they also like sort of touch base on like, hey, you know, hasn't come up, right? And like, no, don't worry, dude. Like, we're still cool.
I love that little moment because there's so much not said, right?
It also chronologically sets it up. Like we kind of know, I guess, since they recognize each other, but it just kind of reassures, like, yes, this is after this.
That's a great point. Yeah, that it sets up the timeline place. That's good point.
And then when we hear him on the payphone, we hear that he's talking to this guy Scotty.
Yeah.
Where they're talking about like the bookies. He made a bunch of money off of this boxing match that he was supposed to throw, where instead he won and fucking killed the other guy. And he's going to Knoxville, Tennessee. And that's where Quentin Tarantino was born.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
We do have him arriving at this hotel. He pays Esmeralda off. He gives her like $100 and he's like, who are you going to tell them who your fare was? And she's like, I'm going to tell them the truth. And then she lies, saying that
three well-dressed Mexicans, I believe.
Yes, yeah, who were toasty, who were a little drunk. And then we meet Fabian, you know, who is his partner.
Mm-hmm.
She says some really funny stuff. She says, "Can we make spoons?"
Yeah, I love that.
Which is like she wants him to like cuddle with her.
I wish I had a pot.
Yeah, she wants a pot belly. She says, "I like the way you stink" as well.
Yeah,
which is cute. Very adorable, you know. It becomes this like sort of emotional center for him, you know. And then as
their romance kind of feels like the purest thing in this movie in a lot of ways to me.
Yeah. I think the side that we see the next day,
it's dark
in the
and
morning,
stormy.
like the way that he kind of talks to her, and then the way he like explodes.
Yeah, he's
with, like,
unhinged,
the watch thing.
But I feel like the love is pure. Like they truly, truly love each other.
Yeah, pure for sure. I mean, there's almost this naiveness to it, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was like looking at some stuff. She's apparently based on this. There's this French movie from the 50s called Lily, and the character is like this like waifish, like little like naive French girl, and so she's kind of like based on that character. And Lily, her most treasured possession is the gold watch that she has from her deceased father.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow. So really a lot of parallels there. That's fascinating.
Yeah. Very, very, very. See, 1953 film. It definitely seems like very closely related sort of reference.
Right.
But I also love in this part, you know, like, also just the whole, like, all the dialogue is really great. Like, will you give me oral pleasure, you know, and like, and you know, this is before The Sopranos, where fucking you've seen Sopranos, right? Where all the shit goes down with I mean, spoilers, but there's some shit about oral sex that goes on in The Sopranos.
It's like a huge conflict.
It's a huge. I mean, people die over this, and then And then I love that this movie is just so unabashedly Bruce Willis, big macho guy. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, girl, I'm going to go down on that pussy. I'm going to eat it forever. You know?
I love that.
Very lovely.
I love that line later. Just I think I cracked a rib, giving me oral pleasure.
Very funny. Also, like, so yeah, it's them after he's like taking a shower. Then he falls asleep and she's like brushing her teeth. And this is very fun because she's brushing her teeth when he falls asleep.
Yeah, and then
she's
wakes
like,
up.
and she's like, Butch.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I noticed that too.
Cut to she's brushing her teeth and she's watching this motorcycle movie like with the volume turned up to fucking 11 at like fucking 8:30 in the morning, something like that.
They have a train to catch at 11.
She says it's 9
so
at one point.
Everything that happens in this whole act, I guess, happens
9
over
and
the next
11.
like 2 hours, which is wild.
Between 9 and 11. Never forget.
That's insane. She wants to order some blueberry pancakes.
Yeah, her whole description of her breakfast is awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
she's going to have blueberry pancakes with maple syrup.
Yeah.
Eggs over easy.
Yeah.
5 sausages.
That's right. And she wants to end it with a blueberry pie.
She's going to have blueberry pie with a thin slice of cheese over it, which is something they do up in Canada. You know, they have apple pie with cheese.
Oh, no. I'm not familiar with
Yeah, I remember because when I went to Western for a year at the fucking cafeteria, they were doing like grilled cheese with like pieces of apple. And people were like, and my friend Kyle was like, yeah, in Canada, they like put like cheddar cheese on their apple pie. And I was like, what?
Whoa.
She also wants a tall glass of orange juice.
Yep.
A cup of black coffee. And I was like,
That
sounds great.
Eating good, yeah.
Eating good. Eating great, really.
Yeah.
Maybe too much on it. It made me sleepy thinking about it. Like first thing in the morning, dude, fuck.
That's a lot of sugar, yeah.
Yeah, pancakes, yeah.
And a pie? Come
Yeah.
on. All right. Pretty quickly, things start getting ominous with he can't find the watch. And throws the fucking
Ominous,
TV over
that's
it.
what I like how you said ominous.
It does. It's very quickly like
I mean, I wouldn't say ominous.
it.
That's
it,
not the word I would use, but I understand what you mean.
Well, everything is so happy, lovey, but that pretty quickly you see him like. Well, I love how
the storm clouds
deconstructs.
start to appear.
Yeah, the way it deconstructs, where he's just kind of pulling things lightly out, looking, and then he's still like keeping up the conversation, but now he's pulling things out quicker, and then it's like,
Yeah.
where the fuck's my watch?
She does say at one point, she says, any time of day is a good time for pie, which I want you to know is also a line from True Romance.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But you're right. The storm clouds start to roll in. He freaks out. Like you said, he throws a fucking TV.
Yeah.
And he's like, where the fuck is my watch?
Yeah.
And it's so wild. He like explodes in rage.
Yeah.
And then immediately starts doing the thing like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I should have like told you this or that. And I think
it almost reminded me, like, it made me think that he's had therapy before, because he like sits down and starts stepping through the like, okay, I need to actually process what I'm going through right now.
I think that is one read. That's what I was gonna say. I think that's one read. I think the other read is almost this. I don't know. I think it almost points to more darkness. It kind of feels like part of the sort of like abuse cycle.
Yeah.
Like it feels like one of those things of like, yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like it can be framed either way, but that's also because we don't really have like enough like data to know whether or not the relationship is actually abusive, or if it is just like that he's like struggling with his like anger, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's I kind of love that it is like so unclear, right?
Yeah.
Like again, there's so much gray. Like we're
Yeah.
just working covered in grays here, right?
Absolutely.
Like we're looking at like if white is good and black is bad and like evil and good, we're like looking at the tones of black and just analyzing the different shades of gray within it, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I mean, Tarantino is one of my favorite writers for that reason. I just love his character so much.
And like I think some of these like really cute lines are like part of the reason why, where he says, I'll be back before you can say blueberry pie.
Yeah.
And she immediately goes, blueberry pie.
yeah.
And you're like, oh man.
It's so cute. Yeah.
Kind of like, breaks your heart a little bit.
Yeah.
And I love how it immediately cuts to him yelling in the car at himself.
Losing his shit again.
I'm gonna say I understand ish the like the placement of it, what purpose it provides, but it was the only scene in this movie where I was like, I don't think you needed that scene.
Oh yeah, I liked it.
I was like, I already saw him like freak out. Like, I guess it confirms the thing that I'm kind of thinking, where it's like, Oh, he's just like calming himself down, but he's pissed at her.
Oh,
He's like
yeah.
angry at her.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is like, but I don't really need like the scene in the car for me to be like, yeah, he thinks that she's fucking dumb and like
For sure.
didn't grab his fucking watch. You know,
For sure.
I didn't need the confirmation.
For sure. For me, it was like just like a comedy beat of like something I could see
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. I mean, it's just like the other funny things are like just work so well that this one was like,
For
you know.
sure. For sure. Oh yeah, one thing this is the first time I noticed this. So we get this amazing like one shot of him walking up to his apartment.
Yeah, this is smart too because we see him pull up and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, is that his apartment building? No, he walks around it and you realize like, oh, he parked like a couple blocks away. He walks through this like lot, like you said, a long, really cool one shot. Works his way through the hole in the fence, you know?
Yeah, very fun to watch. It's so like, and it's like I don't know, I guess it's just building tension. Like there's so many things happening in this movie. I'm like, I don't know if I completely understand its purpose, but it works so well for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's building tension. It's like those long scenes are meant to like ratchet that up as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's already set the stakes for it. Like, she says, but
Aren't they waiting for you?
Yeah, aren't the gangsters gonna be there? You know, waiting for you? And he's like, well, I'm gonna like if they're there, then I'll leave. If they're not, then I'm gonna try my luck, right?
Yeah.
And so you're just like him, like the camera crawling behind him as he slowly makes his approach like towards like the building. You know, he's like on a stealth mission, you know?
Right.
This is the most important part of like it's because there's so much tension, like potential tension in this moment.
Yeah. I guess what's so interesting is that like I've seen this movie a million times. I know where it's going. Like but it's still effective, right? Even knowing that like where this all resolves in, like I'm still feeling the tension of that scene just through this long.
I think it's giving the weight to the moment,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
And this is how I feel about things where you in the past have felt like you feel like it's plotting or like it's slowing down.
Mhm.
Like I really appreciate these like moments, and I know you're saying that this one works really well for you, but yeah, I love these times where like you just let it breathe. You're just letting this like gives your audience a moment, because even if it's your millionth time watching this, your brain is still processing information, you know, like, so it gives you time to be like, okay, the match was fixed, you know, you can kind of go over like the details again in your head. He's trying to get out of town, but the watch, and we know the importance of the watch, and you kind of like get to like reflect on that, you know, a little bit.
It also just like immersing yourself in his situation. You are the one walking up to the apartment. But the detail I noticed for the first time this time is one of the apartments he's walking by, there's an ad for Jack Rabbit Slims playing on the TV.
I heard that,
I'd never noticed that before. I love that.
It's also funny to think about like a fucking restaurant like putting out an ad like that.
Yeah.
I figured it was like over the radio or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Made a little bit more sense, but it's but like you said, really fucking awesome long shot. Tarantino does a lot of really dope long shots in his movies, and this one is definitely up there. We see him walking through like the courtyard up to the apartment. There's so much tension when he pulls out the key and he starts putting it in so slowly. And it's like that thing where like if you've ever snuck out of your house as a kid and you're walking back in, you know, at the end of the night, and you like open the door and you're just hoping to God you don't hear like Alfredo or like, you know, like your name like that.
Right. I love his performance here too, because there's that moment right before he opens the door where you just see him like collect himself and you're like, all right, I'm going to fucking do it. And
it's so relatable.
And then he doesn't open it slowly. He just like, he's like, all right, I'm all in. And then he like busts through the door and closes it immediately behind him, which why are you closing off your escape? But okay.
I think what his thought is because like
someone might be watching.
Yeah. And they're going to like flank him.
Yeah.
And it is really funny that this like sort of guy, Marcellus Wallace, his like thing is like, oh, I'm gonna send one guy.
I think he was there with them getting the donuts. I think he's on his way back to the apartment.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because he lost his other guy.
Because
Jules is gone.
Yeah, that's true. Because this has to happen after that.
Yeah. So it's all those little like Jules. That's what I really love. Like thematically, we were talking about a little bit. Like, what is this movie? That's the clearest one, right? Like. The end of this movie is the two paths going the other way, and it's like Jules making his choice is what kills Vincent, and Vincent continuing to do what he's doing kills him. Yeah,
for sure, absolutely. Yeah, which is cool. I think it's cool, and I think it's a level of intellectual engagement that I appreciate. But I guess to reiterate my earlier point, it's not the like reflection on like existence and identity that friggin', you know, Mirror or Mulholland Drive are.
No.
And honestly, not even really like in like a reflection of like the subjective nature of truth that Memento is. You know?
Yeah. I hear you totally. It's more like little snippets of
it-
humanity,
there's
and
a
then
part
it's
of
kind
it-
of like
there's
do
a-
what you will with
There's
it.
a part of it that is still like really fun to talk about because like things that you engage in like long drawn out philosophical conversations don't always have to be the big questions. I think this movie does a lot of really fun stuff with some smaller questions.
Yeah,
You know,
and maybe
then
that's part of it too. Is that it's like, what is it posing versus Memento telling me what it's posing, like through these long monologues and stuff.
Yeah, I think it is more casual about it. I think it is more approachable because it is more nonchalant and it's not really like it's
not drawing attention.
It's not
to
trying to be
its-
any of those other movies, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, 2 of those movies made after it, so it couldn't even. But yeah, I love how he's like, "All right, I got the watch. It's exactly where he said it was
I'm gonna make some
on the
Pop-Tarts."
kangaroo. Yeah, I'm gonna make some generic Pop Tarts." And I love, and he like even says something to himself. He's like, "Good job, dude," or like basically like, "Things are looking up, Butch. Yeah, good job. Yeah, everything's coming up, Butch." And then he notices the fucking silenced
Yeah,
Uzi.
the way it shows us too, where you just see his gaze look down, and you're like, "What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?" And then it like
classic good movie stuff. You know?
and then the reveal, the way he picks it up, and right when he's holding it at the door, he hears the toilet flush. Like it's just
There's
so
a lot of
perfectly
there's a
lines
lot of
up.
really good like fucking like deterministic like cascades in this
Yeah.
movie, like all these dominoes like kind of like falling in very like fun ways. Like it's almost like he's not thinking of the like, well, this is true, this is just true in general, but like being really aware of how like the choreography of something, or like the, oh my god, I can't remember the word that I'm thinking of. It doesn't matter. The choreography of something is also like not just a 3-dimensional thing, it is a temporal thing. Like, so those elements of the little Rube Goldberg machine, as we like to say, of like him like opening the door. Also like there's a book in the house there when he's there. I think it might be next to the gun or something, or it's somewhere in the house, which is the book that Vincent is reading when he's on the toilet.
Oh, he has the book with him in the
diner.
bathroom.
Yeah. He's reading the same book. Yeah. Same book from the diner.
Yeah. I was trying to read the title every time I see this. I'm not sure what it is.
Oh, it's a book that apparently Tarantino has said he would want to adapt.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and then the way the Pop-Tarts go off, right?
Yeah.
So Vincent walks in, he's pointing the gun at him.
It's
there's
quiet.
That,
Dead quiet.
Dead
They're
quiet.
just staring at each
There's
other.
that moment of like, I'm fucked. And then right when he pulls the trigger, the Pop-Tarts come up, and then the smoke from the gun sets off the fire
it
alarm.
It almost feels like the Pop-Tarts
is what
pull the trigger.
is like
you know?
startles him into pulling the trigger.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's so good.
Which is fun when you think about like later on we're gonna have Marvin fucking shot like in the head like that. You know, kind of like almost like
shot
startled.
Marvin
you know,
in the face.
and it's kind of great. Like he So I guess the death scene. Another reference. We've got 3 Days of the Condor, 1975 film. Then Butch just cleans the gun off, leaves it, walks out.
He did a pretty shit job cleaning it.
I
in my
love how
opinion.
as he's leaving through the, I mean, at least he doesn't shoot some like chubby lady in the fucking ass, you know?
yeah,
Fucking
true.
Bambi. He's walking out the courtyard, and I love how you can hear the alarm going off like lightly, very lightly in the background. You know,
it's good touch. Yeah,
very good.
Just leaving the chaos behind him.
Heads back over. I love that how he doesn't do the whole long scene because that would be maybe a touch too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see him head over the fence, gets back in the car. Mission successful.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost like the end of the roller coaster where you're like,
okay,
I'm gonna get a moment to breathe here.
Yeah.
Woo, okay.
And the scene, him at the stopped. Marcellus crossing the
So
street.
funny.
This is the first time we see his face. Is him like his full face?
Is that right?
In the scene before, with when he's saying whatever he says,
yeah, he's talking away. Yeah,
he like you see the side of his face,
That's
but
right.
not full of it. And this turn is a Psycho, 1960 Psycho reference. The way that he turns and like looks
I remember that scene. Yeah,
straight
absolutely.
at fucking Butch. So fucking funny.
It's
he just
really fun.
happened to like run in.
Motherfucker.
And then I guess the him hitting him with the car, rolling over the car, and then the gunfight out in public. 1974 Godfather Part 2 sort of homages in there.
I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, as well. He gets hit by the car. It suddenly turns to black. We have like him looking up at the people like, you know, who are like, oh my God, that guy's crazy.
Kathy, wait.
Kathy Griffin is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
He's like, I'll be a witness for you. And it's like, where'd he go? Like right there. He pulls out a fucking gun. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Kathy Griffin's response in particular is fucking hilarious. She just like turns around to like like 360.
It's fucking funny. It's really good. I love that. It's just a good scene where it's like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, let's help you. You're so helpless. And then like suddenly like, no, I'm also a fucking madman. Like,
yes. And just this whole sequence is so cool.
It also feels like reality colliding with the movie. Like for a second,
the tilted cameras.
These are
like,
normal people who suddenly walked into the set of this movie. You know?
Yeah, totally. Oh shit. Goldmere myself. Okay. Yeah, the whole like just both of them extremely fucked up trying to run away from each other and chasing, like when he's just like, you know, has his head against the alleyway and you see Marcel is just like fucking swerving back and forth.
Yeah, they're both not in good shape.
I love it.
And then they finally do, there's a chase that ensues. They run into the pawn shop. He almost gets to the point where he kills Marcellus.
Feel that sting, big boy?
Yeah, he's holding the gun in front of him. He gets his moment where he gets to say the thing back to him. And then the shop owner stops him, you know. And
this is the most wild turn.
It is the wildest turn. It is the wildest turn.
Ever.
Yes.
It's just out
he
of
knocks
nowhere.
him out. See him? He's on the phone with Zed, and he says that the spider has caught a couple of flies.
Yep.
Yeah, but this is an insane turn for the movie. Like so wild, and I think kind of speaks to the like. I think that he is really trying to say some stuff about like, you know, about karma, right? About or just about like fate, how things go. And I think like he's not necessarily saying like, look, it's so like organized and ordered, or like, look, it's pure chaos. I think he's kind of like saying like, look at how unfathomable the path of like happenings is, right?
Yeah. Like a lot about just the choices we make that and get us into this situation.
But
right?
like part of it is like the choices we make, and like sometimes like
crazy
like, there's no consequences. Sometimes like things are fine.
Sometimes
other times like dude, your boss's wife accidentally overdoses on heroin. No, she's fine. She lived, you know, like I'm not in any trouble. Like you happen to be crossing the street getting donuts at this particular time, well, dude, you're gonna get hit by this car. You know, like there's so many of those things, because there is like all these the obvious thing, which is like they're criminals, they like reap what they sow. But then there's the other aspect of like, what about the people who get away? Like, what about the people who just happen to be there? You know, like
Jules,
like fucking Marvin. You know,
yeah, Jules just gets away with all this, like everything horrible he's done. Presumably, right? In terms of the cinematic language, right? Like he chose to go down a different path, and you know, is able to avoid all this. But yeah, Marvin just, you know, but he's all tied, like everyone's tied up and shit, so it's like, you know,
for sure. But I mean, I think there's like, you know,
the random lady who is helping Butch out of his car, who gets shot in the fucking side. Yeah,
you know,
exactly,
there's just like the world is wild out there, you know.
Absolutely.
And so Butch and Marcellus wake up. They both have ball gags. Maynard is like spraying water all over them to wake them up.
I am realizing that through line though between each of these parts, where like you were saying, we get like, you think the whole like Mia and Vincent thing is building up to this kind of like will they won't they sexual tension thing, boom, heroin overdose. You think this is building up to him like
final showdown.
Final showdown.
They're gonna become friends.
Boom.
Not friends, but they're gonna work together.
Crazy hillbilly rapists instead, and then finally like, okay, is the movie over, or where are they going? Oh, you shot Marvin in the face, right? Like it just keeps doing this like absolute swerve.
Yeah, and Peter Green plays Zed, who arrives. Zed is a cop. Peter Green, I remember him from The Mask. His face has always like stood out to me. I've always just like sort of remembered him.
Yeah, he's always unique looking guy.
He's also in I think The Usual Suspects.
Okay, I can see that.
There's a scene I think where he accidentally gets like a cigarette like flicked at his face, which they kept in. It's very funny.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, it's insane how this all starts to work out. But apparently in the screenplay, Maynard and Zed are supposed to be brothers, which makes it even more disturbing.
Yes.
They have a man in a box.
The Gimp, they call him.
Yes, they have a man in a box.
Man in a box. I'm always That's always been like, who the fuck is this guy? Is he one of their victims or is he willfully there?
Like he's kind of playing along. Like he likes it. He gets off on it. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's a good question. I think the same too. Like, and because he does seem to take some joy out of this.
Well,
but is it because he's like
Yeah.
so traumatized?
Yeah, because
or
they
is
ask
it
him to
because
keep an eye on him, and he
Yeah.
does try to like tell on him when Butch breaks
Yeah.
out, and I'm like, yeah, is it just like trauma, like victimized, like he's scared of his punishment if Butch gets away, or like, yeah, I don't know.
I gotta say, the Butch breaking out of the chair is this like one of a couple of examples of like some really bad low frame rate slow motion in this movie. Did not love the way that scene looked.
Interesting. I
I
didn't
almost
notice.
would have rather not. You didn't have to show me the chair breaking because it already kind of just looks like almost just like fate let him out of his bonds in a way because you see him struggling, but it's just like so sudden
Yeah.
when he breaks free that I just kind of felt like it was like almost like with Jules and like Vincent not getting shot. It is almost like God or some sort of force stepping in to be
Interesting.
like, all right, Butch, like save him.
That's great. I love that. Yeah, I took it more as almost another comedic bit where you're expecting the rope to slide off, and instead the entire chair
whole
just
chair
busts
breaks,
apart.
It is funny, yes.
Yeah.
I did like that, but I almost feel like maybe just I feel like it could have been like taken it a little bit differently.
Interesting.
That one shot of the chair. Maybe they just got it. They didn't really like how it looked, and they were like, let's slow it down but
Yeah.
it looks kind of
Yeah, for me it was just like heroic slow motion moment, I guess. Like,
yeah. But I mean, you saw it was like the low frame rate, like it was bad slow motion.
yeah, it didn't really stick out to
it
me, man.
stuck out to me like a sore thumb.
I'll keep an
The
eye out
rest
for
of
it
this
next
film
time.
is like so well filmed, and there were just like a couple of those where I'm like, why'd you do that? So unnecessary. Makes it look so gross. But again, it's taste change, right? Like, and I
Right.
think that's one of the things that visually doesn't like hold up.
Yeah, slow motion was definitely way more popular 20 years ago in general, like 30 years ago, even more so. I
I
think.
don't mind slow motion. I
Yeah.
think slow motion is cool if you have the frame rate for it.
Yeah.
Don't decide you want to make a scene slow motion afterwards.
Right.
Like decide that you want it to be slow motion when you are filming it. Treat it as such, like, and for someone who's so intentional with their films, it was a little weird. It was a little like took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
Took me out of it more than it would have in like a badly made film.
Sure,
You
exactly. Yeah, it stands out. Yeah.
know, it really does.
Well, it didn't to me.
It
But
ruined the fucking movie, dude. No, it didn't to you, because I am the one who paid $60,000 to get pissed off about it.
Alfredo has a master's in film.
No, I do, but that's less important. It's more important to know how much money I spent. I don't care about the position.
He punches the gimp out.
Master's in Fine Arts. It's a terminal degree. I could be a professor in this, okay?
Oh hell yeah,
You're
brother.
you're sitting in my class right now. I'm just joking. I'm just being silly. Yeah, but he gets out. He like takes out the gimp. Like I think he kind of like hits him, and then I don't know. Like it seems like the gimp is almost like just hanging by his like whatever
Yeah, I've
restraints
heard
they had him.
that people say he dies there because he's hanged, but it looked to me more like it was hanging from his like collar.
Suit.
Yeah,
But like the collar would still maybe pull on.
Yeah,
like,
maybe
the
that
back
would
part,
kill him,
You know?
yeah.
Who knows? I mean, it's also he's a boxer who like literally just killed someone last night. With his fists.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard to believe that he just like smacked the shit out of him. And then he's gonna leave.
I love this part
He's gonna
so
leave, and
much. I remember the first time I saw
You
this.
love it. You love these scenes in general. You love them so much.
Yeah.
Like every time we have one of them, I will see in like your face. You're like,
Yes.
you were seeing this moment, this physical representation of turning back, and it's great. It's well done. It's a very easy sort of thing to do, but like it's like one of those examples of something that's like making a good movie isn't necessarily hard, or making a well thought movie not really that hard. Like, yeah, just showing that physical space with the blocking. That's the word I was trying to think of earlier. Of him going all the way up to the door. He like the door opens and then he turns back.
Yeah, well, particularly the part I love and remember just like
And
getting
you can hear that's the whole time too. You've been able to hear the sounds.
Yes,
which
the
is,
horrible things
yes.
happening. Yeah, but no, just the first he grabs the hammer, and then he
Okay,
grabs
yeah, then
the
he's
bat.
yeah. When he
and
finally
then
decides
grabs
he's
the
gonna go back,
chainsaw.
yeah, he's like, yeah, what weapon am I gonna use?
It's just the glorious moment of him looking up towards the camera and the katana.
I should have known that your favorite moment was when the katana came out.
When I was just like, I just remember seeing this as a teenager for the first time, just like, fuck yes, dude, the katana, of course.
That is such like an aspect of the way that like Quentin Tarantino makes movies, where it feels like inside he is still like kind of like immature.
Yeah, just
but
a
in a way that
having fun.
But in a way that appeals to our like senses of like, oh yeah, that's fun, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I think it comes out in different ways. I think it comes out in ways where I definitely am like, I like where I will be critical of, right? And then there are other ways where I'm like, that's just good old fashioned fun, you know?
Yeah.
And a katana, good old fashioned fun.
I mean, just the build up to the katana.
Also, like the katana for him in this, there's so much love behind that. Like,
yeah.
There's so much like more to it than just that. There is like his like love of like Japanese film and like
I mean the way he kills them is very like
fucking
samurai coded.
It's sick. Yeah, and I love how he busts in and like, but he doesn't bust in. He goes in very quietly. They don't hear him. You know, Maynard turns around and he's able to slice him down.
I noticed something that you might have appreciated. I'm pretty sure Bruce Willis is left-handed because the way he was holding the katana, he had the left hand on top, and I was like, oh, interesting.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Perhaps he is. We'll look it up right now. Did you notice Maynard had 2 different colored eyes, by the way?
I did, yeah.
Kind of cool.
It is cool. I forget what that's called. Something chromia.
Yeah,
I forget.
Chimera. He is left-handed.
Ah, yeah. Look
Sick,
at me.
dude.
Look at me.
Look at you, dude. I'm so proud of you, dude. I'm so proud of you.
Yay. Alfredo points. I got from the master of film himself.
No. You need to calm down with that. I just want it to be known. He keeps saying in film, I have a master's in fine arts in producing and directing for film and television.
Hell yeah, brother.
That is what my specific degree is. I also, he doesn't talk about this, but I do have an undergraduate degree, bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in sociology.
Absolutely. Yeah, Butch saves the day. Amazing sequence. I fucking love it. The way he like stabs Maynard behind him, like while he's looking at Zed.
Yeah,
like,
it's sick.
It's great.
It feels very, very like samurai movie, sort of like badass thing.
Yeah.
I also, the part where I love how he's telling Zed to pick up the gun too.
He's like, I want you to.
That's a reference to the 1959 movie Rio Bravo.
Oh, okay.
I will say at this point there have been some references that I've kind of like skipped over and stuff.
I mean, I'm sure.
I'm just hitting some of the ones that I think are kind of like fun to like that almost things that you wouldn't really think about where you're like, oh, that's a reference.
Yeah, like this tiny little thing. Yeah, for sure. I love Marcellus behind him. You just hear the click of the shotgun, and then Butch stands aside. I love the camaraderie here. Like, I know that's what the whole thing is building up, but just the fact that Butch immediately trusts that Marcellus isn't going to shoot him, that it's immediately like, oh no, it's us versus them. Like, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, for sure. It is. And I really just use, like, the thing is, like, the way that, like, sexual assault is used for that is, like, it is one of the things that's, like, hard to process a little bit in like the film, like it makes sense, right? Like why but it's just like out of nowhere, like fucking things get turned up to this level where you're like wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, he saves his life, dude. And
I like that line. He's like, "You okay?"
No, man, I am pretty far from okay.
Pretty fucking far from okay.
Yeah, it's great. And he says he asks him what now, and he says this whole like pliers and blowtorch thing, which is a reference to I guess a 73 film, Charlie Varick.
Oh yeah, he says, I'm going to get medieval on your ass, which I like a lot.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, you mean between me and you? And he's like, I don't care what the fuck you do, you just can't be in LA ever again. He's basically like, just get out of my face.
There is no me and you, he says,
Get out of my face and you can live your life. I don't care anymore. Like,
he does say you've lost all your LA privileges.
Yeah, that's what I said. He can never be in LA again.
Yeah.
Go Knoxville way anyway, you know. He's gonna go hang out in Tarantino's hometown, I guess. Well, I think Tarantino grew up in California, but I guess was born in Tennessee.
Interesting. He takes Zed's motorcycle.
Yep, he pieces out and takes Zed's motorcycle. Yeah, her name is Grace. The motorcycle.
Oh, did one of them say that?
Yeah, and it says it on the side of the
Oh,
motorcycle.
I missed that. That's funny.
It's funny because he's saying something about like, oh, you think Grace is gonna be okay out front? You're like, you just left a woman out there, and then you see, oh no, it's the motorcycle. Of course.
Oh yeah, no, I did hear that line. I thought he had someone in like who was gonna come in to watch the counter or
Yeah, I have
something.
no idea,
I totally overthought it.
Yeah, I can't remember it specifically, but that it is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's a reference to Easy Rider.
Oh, okay, love it. It's not a motorcycle, it's a chopper.
Very fucking funny. And I love how she's like, what happened to my Honda? He goes, I had to crash it. I had to crash it, babe.
He's saying it so lovingly too. I had to crash that baby.
Well, he's like saying it dismissively too.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I mean, like, you know, when like you ask someone like, oh, like they're like, oh yeah, well, you know, because I've been applying to jobs, and you're like, wait, applying to jobs? What happened? You like, what happened to your other job? I'm like, oh, I mean, it's like, I mean, like I got fired or whatever. It's like, you know, like they almost say it like that. We're like, don't make me like have to say it.
I
Like,
love that little moment too, where she just starts crying because he's freaking her out so much. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I guess the Zed's Deadline is also a reference to Zardoz.
Oh my goodness.
Which is like a movie from the 70s as well.
Insane the amount of references.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. And then we get the final chapter.
The Bonnie situation.
Great chapter name.
Yeah, I also because the way it comes up later on when he's saying the body situation, it's good, you know.
Yeah.
So we go back to the whole scene with Brent, and we hear Jules doing the speech.
The man in the bathroom.
This time we're in the bathroom with the other Arquette.
And you said this is Jodie's brother, that actor's brother.
This is Jodie's sister pre-transition. Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes, Alexis Arquette, I believe is her name. She might have passed, unfortunately, but yes. So
that's too bad.
Yeah, in
Their
the bathroom.
Reaction to the Bible verse is so
great. Yeah,
funny.
it's just like the face of like utter confusion.
Well, like going from like absolute horror and fear.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck? Like wait, for real? Which is great. I like it's again, it's sort of metatextual, sort of like eyebrow raised to the like. Yeah, it's a little bit of a Deadpool, like fucking like, hey, what's up? You know, we're watching a movie.
Absolutely. Misses every shot.
It's great.
Miracle or not, I don't know. It's up to you.
It's a fun discussion too, and I feel like is a fun thing to sort of like play on this like these two different hitmen and like the way that they see the world, right? They both have the same profession, which is not just like it's not like two garbage men. It's not like two postmen. No, it's like two guys who would kill for a living.
Yeah.
And their views on the world. And this one guy's like, no, dude, everything is ordered and happens for a reason, and I've been demonstrated as such today by the Almighty. The other one was like, shit's just random and weird, dude, you know?
Yeah. He gives another example of like a cop who shot down the hallway and missed every shot. And he's like, sometimes shit's just fucking weird.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't think he's wrong. Like
No.
we've talked about in the past.
I wouldn't believe it was God in that moment. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, but as we've talked about with like guns, like people like overestimate how accurate like people are with guns, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, could definitely see that happening. But yeah, I mean, I love that Jules is like so sure, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's his saving grace.
Yeah, I feel like there is this like, I think the thing about the two of them, right, is that I feel like there's so much like confidence, and he's so secure in who he is, where like Vincent does feel so kind of like he was in Amsterdam. It feels kind of like he was trying to find himself. Like he doesn't really know who he is, you know, like or what motivates him, and it is like the defining moment that really like draws the line in the sand between them.
It's great. It's a great final kind of with a movie with where you're kind of wondering what are the themes and stuff. I feel like this is the final part that kind of like ties that stuff together.
Yeah, and then they all leave together, and then we see them in the car, and Jules is like, yeah, I'm gonna retire. Like he's seen this whole thing as a sign, you know. And Vincent turns around and asks Marvin what he thinks. And apparently there's this movie from 1978 called Fury where a guy turns around and he's like holding a gun. He's like says something about how he's like worried it might accidentally go off as like a way of like threatening someone else. That's where I guess Tarantino had the idea.
Okay.
But he was originally supposed to get shot in the throat.
Oh no.
And die a sly. He was supposed to die a slow, painful death.
No. I'm glad they went the other way.
But yeah, so John Travolta felt like it would make Jules and Vincent too unlikable. So he went to Tarantino. He's like, it would be funnier if he just immediately died and had his head like explode.
I'm with them on that
Yeah,
choice.
no, it is. It's wild how funny that scene is.
It's really
It was
funny.
really, really fun. It's also their reactions immediately. They're just like so inconvenienced.
Well, yeah, just
like
the way he
they're
says.
upset that Marvin is dead, but they're more upset about the mess. You know?
Yeah, well, yeah, Vincent's reaction. Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Yeah,
like,
it's fucking funny. It's really
it's
fucking
like he
funny.
knocked his food over or something.
Yeah, and they're out in the valley, I guess, which they point out, and they're like, we have like no like connects out here, and then suddenly Jules is like, I'll call my partner Jimmy. He lives out in Toluca Lake. We'll see if he can help us out. You know?
Yeah. And they go over to Jimmy's.
Yeah, we're in the bathroom. They're both like washing their. I love this. This is a good like a well constructed scene because Jules is like, you need to understand the situation we're in, man. We're inconveniencing this guy. This guy is helping us. We need to be grateful. We need to be gracious. And Vince is like, I don't like people like give me a hard time.
He's such a dick in this whole sequence.
And you're like, are you fucking
I
serious?
think he's deflecting here. I think that's his whole thing is that he can't take responsibility for what he did. So instead, he's just like being a dick.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's also this sense of like, you know, he has no security in who he is. Like he's so like, and he's done this, you know, he's like kind of like adrift. And I love the like, it's so highlighted with like, they're having this conversation. He's like, yeah, no, I'll be respectful. I just like, you better not give me any like shit, right? And then he like immediately is able to like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like you fucked up his towel. You got blood all over. He's like, I was just washing my hands. Like I saw you put water on them. I didn't see you wash. It's so good. Really, really great stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And like just at this point, like we know their whole vibe and they're like executing on it like to the like nth degree.
I love it.
Very, very funny.
The whole conversation with the coffee. This is some serious gourmet shit.
Jules is really trying to like convince Jimmy that it's like, well, he's trying to really smooth things over and be like, hey man, love your coffee.
It's
I
really
think you're a
good
great
coffee.
guy. We're friends, right?
And Jimmy's
You don't hate me,
response
right?
to that.
Yeah,
Just,
Jimmy's just like, fuck you, dude.
I know my shit's gourmet. Bonnie buys the bad shit, and that's why I spend more.
I kind of, it's such like a dickish sort of response.
Yeah.
But I also kind of get it, you know.
Well, these guys just brought a dead body to his house.
Yeah, no, for sure. I also get it because, you know, I get high quality stuff sometimes too. When I'm sharing my high quality products with my friends, they'll be like, this product is very high quality, man. Like, wow, dude. Wow, you really got some high quality stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's my thing. Like, I like nice things. Like, when I get into something, I want the good version of it. I'm not going to buy some fucking shitty fucking instant coffee. And like, hey, no shade to people who want to do that. But I thought you knew me well enough to understand we don't have to have this conversation because I'm a person with fucking taste. I thought you were too, and I thought we understood that about each other.
You really are embodying Jimmy here.
Yeah,
I love
I
it,
mean, but I love also that the like crux of it is like, I see through your shit, Jules.
Yeah.
Stop trying to fucking Jules me, dude. I see what you're
There's
doing.
no
man.
time for this.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I need you to take care of this before Bonnie gets home because she will divorce me.
Yeah, hour and a half. Yeah, yeah. I love that line. He says, like no matter what you say, you're not going to convince me I don't love my wife, right?
Yeah, I love that sort of like, let's reframe the scene by have like the other participant like point out like, this is the truth of the matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I love those things because like so often like scenes are plays on like social norms and like what can be said, what can't be said, what's the proper like step-by-step process to approach this social interaction.
Totally.
And Jimmy just blows it up. He's like, figure this out or I don't care, dude. Like, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah, and you know, I do think Tarantino's performance sticks out a little. He's not the best actor, but I think he fits pretty well into this role.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah,
he's fine.
Adequate.
This is one of his like cameos that it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's not one of the director like one of those director cameos you think of and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
But I guess he apparently also like he auditioned like he was thinking about having Jeff Goldblum or Bill Paxton play this part.
I kind of love Jeff Goldblum.
I kind of love Bill Paxton
I kind of love both of them. Yeah.
Like when you think about that, you are kind of like,
I think it probably should have. Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun, and it's a small enough part, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, kind of one of the things that I love about it is that it is a little and he makes fun of himself at one point because they're like. He's like, what do they look like, you know, when he's washing them off? Or when they're dressed at the end. He's like, they look like dorks. And he goes, in your clothes, right?
Yeah.
And I do kind of love that, like, you know.
Yeah. No, I like that Jimmy, I mean, he's kind of like He's a funny guy because like everyone just kind of like tells him what to do the whole time. Like I love when the wolf is like, he's like, oh well, Mike, my parents or my aunt or something gave
Well, no,
me
no,
these,
he says that.
this
Yeah, he
bedding.
says, Uncle fucking here. It's yeah, Uncle Conrad and Aunt Jenny gave him to him. And he's like, well, were they millionaires? And he goes, no. Well, your Uncle Marcellus is a millionaire. And he just gives him a big wad of cash. He's like, I personally like oak.
You an oak guy?
Yeah,
And
it's
he's just like,
fucking
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Speaking of wolf, that's who. So Jules calls Marcellus, and I love how we see Jules like being kind of demanding of Marcellus.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Tell me these things are okay, man. Like, kind of like I've been there for you, dude."
Yeah.
And it makes sense because he's like, "I'm done with you, dude.
Yeah.
I don't need a job after this. I don't care if you come after me. I have the Lord watching over
Yeah.
me, dude. Come and try and take
A
this
new
from
man.
me, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got inner peace like nobody's business.
But I love
dude.
how Marcellus responds too, where he just repeats what he wanted him
Yeah,
to
he's
say
like,
back to him.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah, I got you, babe.
Yeah,
But it's-
you got no problems, Jules.
He's not lying. He's true.
Yeah,
he's for real, dude.
He sends
And
the
then-
wolf.
Yeah, and then we have this scene of like a party, and then
Yeah.
the wolf on the phone. I love his line. It's 30 minutes away. I'll be there in 10.
Yeah, and then it's 9 minutes and 37 seconds
great.
later. Yeah.
This so the wolf specifically written for Harvey Keitel.
Okay, yeah, I think
And
I heard
based
that.
off of a character called Victor the Cleaner from Point of No Return, which is a movie that came out like the year before this came out.
Oh, okay, interesting. More modern.
Yeah, there were lots of like more recent references too,
Interesting.
which I think speaks to the fact this guy isn't just like he's a fan of cinema in general. Like,
Yeah.
like I've heard so many people say like, you see Quentin Tarantino out like at different premieres, watching all sorts of like consuming just so much cinema, right?
Right. Great little moment I noticed this time with the wolf. He's like writing all these notes, and one of the notes is just one body, no head. It's really funny.
Good stuff. I love it.
And another just like callback to the coffee as he gets him the cup of coffee. And
He just turns and he's like, yeah, he likes it. Yeah, he obviously likes it. I love that how you are like, it's one of those things where like, Miyazaki movies, you're like, you really want to eat the food.
Yeah.
You are kind of like, I kind of want to drink Jimmy's
what's
coffee.
up with this coffee?
I feel like if it came out at a certain time, or I could even see this being like a bit for like some sort of like website where it's like, oh yeah, we sell Jimmy's Brew, the Pulp
totally.
Fiction branded coffee.
Absolutely.
It is a bit of a suitcase in and of itself. We never get to try it.
You're right. The boys get to work. I have written.
Yeah, and then we get the exchange about Uncle Conrad, and then the wolf just gives him a
Yeah.
shit ton of money.
And Jules just like, not Jules, Vincent being an absolute douche here. Just like a please would be nice. Just
That's
like
so
bro.
fucking funny.
and,
So
and Jules'
funny.
reaction to him is so
Yeah,
good.
and
He's like, I feel you looking at me, and Jules is just like, oh my fucking god, dude.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Just so obviously everyone is so against him. The whole audience were all like, "Are you fucking for real, dude?" And then when they're washing the car, and Jules is suddenly like, "Wait, what the fuck am I cleaning the
Yeah.
backseat with all the pieces of brain?"
Yeah.
And all the shit he says about like,
He's like, I'm about to go off, and then Jules responds like, "Oh, you're about to go off. Every time my fingers touch brain, I'm supercharged TNT.
Yeah.
Like I'm a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker."
which is a reference to a show from the 70s as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then he like is like, you and me switch. I'm gonna clean the windows. You clean the brain off the back
Yeah.
seat, which is a very funny thing too,
Yeah.
because you would totally be in the middle of the moment. You're like, okay, let me do something.
Yeah. I'm
take
just
my
gonna
mind
get
off
in
this.
there. Yeah.
And then I would be like, wait, why am I? Fuck you. You're the reason I'm in this, dude. You do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then the cleaning is done. The seats are covered, and then we have Jules and Vincent stripping down to wash themselves off. He says, "I'm sure you boys have been to county before." You
Yep.
know, start spraying them with the water. It's very funny because it's cold,
Yep.
and they're completely naked in someone's yard.
Yep.
It's a very funny thing. To
Yeah, I
picture.
didn't realize this is homage this scene in Breaking Bad as well in season 1. Nice little homage handoff here. They go.
Wow.
They go.
I didn't realize we were talking about the pop culture legacy of this film today.
They go to Monster Joe's.
Yes. There's also the line I want to say where
yeah.
he says, "What do they look like, Jimmy? They look like dorks." It's funny.
It's just, I love,
Really dumb.
I love how amused they are by this
Yeah.
too. They look like a bunch of dorks.
It's really fucking funny. Yeah. Yeah, Wolf gives them the rundown. He's like, "We're gonna drive. I'm gonna drive the tainted car with Jules. Vincent, you drive my Acura to Monster Joe's. Keep up. I drive really fast. Show up to Monster Joe's. We meet Raquel, right? Too.
Yeah, very random character.
Well, he mentioned her earlier.
See.
And then she's gonna inherit Monster Joe's one day.
Yeah.
She's his girlfriend, and he's gonna take her out to like breakfast.
Yeah.
And then I also love how he like offers them a ride. He's like, "You guys like want to ride anywhere? Where do you live?" And he goes, one of Samuel L. Jackson's character, Jules says Inglewood. I can't remember where Vincent says, and which they don't live like in the city of LA itself. And he's like, move out of the sticks. Yeah. He's like, I foresee a cab. And he's like, move out of the sticks, gentlemen. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the promise of like, oh man, you're like, oh, the wolf's kind of very generous. And he's like, actually, no, fuck off.
Yeah, what a great like little random character.
Yeah.
That ties up this whole act.
And it is also fun. Like we're talking about like decisions and like things that you like where they take you. They decide, you know what, they're gonna share a cab and they're gonna go get a little bit of breakfast together.
Destiny.
You have to think that this is like 9 a.m, right? Because she comes home from her shift at like 9:30 or something like that.
Yeah, well, they were outside the dealer's door around 7:30, or not dealers, but those guys that were killing 7:30. So yeah, all of this stuff is happening within a couple hours.
I love it. It's so fucking funny because it is also interesting because we think of like crime movies as being such night movies, you know?
Yeah.
And this is very much like
That's
a
good
morning
point.
movie.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, the stuff with Bruce Willis, like he has one part at night and then one part in like 9 a.m, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Most of the action is during the day.
Yeah. Then we do get the shot. We have them in the diner.
Hawthorne Grill Diner. I've never caught that before.
Yeah, I guess the name was originally like Holly's or something like that. But we hear Jules. I love this aspect of him too. Like he's done with the business, but he has so much respect for the wolf.
Yeah.
And how like Winston Wolf like handles his whole business.
Yeah.
Very fun.
He's like, he didn't even lose his shit when you were being a little bitch.
Yeah. And then, they have the whole exchange talking about he doesn't eat swine. Pigs are filthy animals. He asks them about dogs. And they're laughing and having a good time. And Vince is like, oh, man, it's so good to, like, laugh with you because you've been, like, so serious.
Yeah, you've loosened up a bit. Yeah, back to your old self. And he's like, no, I'm still quitting the life.
Yeah, I'm quitting, dude. I know what I saw. I saw a fucking miracle. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about, bud. What the fuck are you thinking about?
Yeah, and what he says he wants to do is so... Like
he wants to walk the earth like Kane from Kung Fu,
which is so interesting.
Again, jam packed with all those fucking pop culture references.
But I love that he's just like, you decided to be a bum. That back and forth is great.
Yeah, you can see so much resistance because I think Vincent, even though like he was gone for 3 years, seems to have tied a lot of like his identity up in his partnership with Jules. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's challenging to him in the way of like, you can't leave me behind. Like.
Well, you saying you don't want to do this anymore means you think that this is bad.
Yeah.
I do this. I still want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not bad.
Because I buy $1,500 worth of heroin at a time.
Yeah,
so like,
right,
I need a pretty well-paying job. Like $1,500 in 1994.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck, man? Like that's like a rent for a fucking month on
and I think
fucking heroin.
That is how much Jules is just carrying in his wallet, apparently. So they just rock with that kind of money.
Yeah, he gives him $1,500, yeah.
Yeah. That's just, days out.
Yeah, Vincent's gonna, but we do hear like the Garçon coffee thing. And then we see Tim Robbins saying it. So it's Tim Roth, sorry. I always fuck that up. This is not Shawshank Redemption. So we start to hear some of that dialogue from the first scene quietly in the background. And then Vincent, again, he loves telling you that he's going to the bathroom. And for a good reason, because bad things always happen when he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Goes to the bathroom. And that's when the fucking, the whole robbery starts. We do see Jules has a gun under the table, but he pulls out his wallet like he's instructed to.
Great tension building here.
Really good.
Because, you've just setting up these crooks that are already intimidating, but you know how intimidating these guys are because we've been following them be badasses for so long. And so just like the slow kind of burn of them colliding together is really good.
It's a classic standoff sort of thing. And I do love the way it progresses of him like showing him inside the suitcase and him like being distracted by it, so he's able to pull him in and grab him, and he has the gun on him.
He was ready to let him go. He was ready to give him the money and just be like, that's it. It was, no, I can't give you this suitcase because this is my fucking job.
He was gonna give him his full wallet.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pumpkin goes a little too far, so he grabs him. And I love the way you see Honey Bunny. The whole shot is just like, who we find out is named Yolanda.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's right.
The way she's going back and forth between like And the way Jules is like being such a good like negotiator,
Yeah.
and the way he talks to her, he's like, "Come on, baby girl," like he's like being very familial with her, but is very cute,
But
very charming.
when he first grabs him though, and he's like, "Tell that bitch to chill out." It's so funny.
Yeah, the shape of the whole conversation here is really good. Maybe my favorite part, just because
It's
I
really
really
good.
love like
It's really good.
the up and down of it. It is such a roller coaster. It feels like so much of like
Oh, yeah.
the shape of the movie, like that structure being like re-encapsulated through this like
Yeah.
final sort of like
Totally.
standoff.
Yeah, it's a great line too. We're gonna be like three Fonzies. What are Fonzies like? They're cool.
And what is it? He says something to her, which is like correctamundo.
Yeah.
Which is what Fonzie says in the show.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah. And I like yeah, and then when Vincent comes out and he's got the gun and then she starts freaking out again, he's like,
Yeah.
"No, come on, stay with me. Stay with
Vincent,
me."
you're not gonna do a goddamn thing.
And the way that he looks at it, doesn't he say something like "so beautiful" or something like that? Like there's like but there's this like the way
Oh, when
the other suitcase shot again. Yeah.
Yes. Well, he says, "Is that what I think it is?"
Yeah.
And then you have Yolanda behind him, like, "What is it?" Just building up more enticement.
Someone at one point sees it, and I actually think it's Tim Roth when it opens. Says something about like how it's so beautiful.
I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a part. Again, it's all about desire,
Yeah.
But ultimately, they tell people, "All right, take these $1,500." Oh, no, the part where he gets the wallet back is really funny. They're like, "Okay,
Yes.
we got an agreement. You give me my wallet back." He's like, "Which one is it? The one that says bad motherfucker." The way he says it, like it's a matter of fact.
Yeah, bad motherfucker.
That is Quentin Tarantino's wallet, and it's a reference to Shaft. And one of my best friends in the world, Josh Kipperstock, in high school, had a wallet that said "bad motherfucker" on
I
it.
love it.
And if you know Josh, and if you knew him in high school, it's really fucking funny. Like he would just pull it out and be like, "What the fuck, dude? Bad motherfucker? Are you
It's
serious?"
So good. I love
Like,
it.
yeah, man, it's from Pulp Fiction. Josh loves movies.
That's amazing.
Big
We
movie
need
guy.
to get him on here.
Yeah, he there was a period of time where he had all of the best film of the year, like the Academy Award for best film memorized from like specific year to another specific year.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, one of the first people I remember meeting who was like as was young and was like, I mean, we all were musicians, but he also had that thing about him where he was kind of like, yeah, I want to make movies. Like when I think I met him right after he had kind of like transitioned from like I want to be a film director to I want to be a rock star. But definitely someone who like he's the first person to have ever shown me the Godfather movies.
Hell yeah.
Definitely like someone who like exposed me to a lot of like really good fucking movies.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember even back in the day, him and I talking about movies a lot, or the three of us together. Speaking of transitionary periods, I love that that's what Jules tells him. He's like normally you'd already be dead, but I'm in a transitionary period right now, and I want to help you.
Yeah,
Just
you're lucky, man. You're
this
lucky.
Final monologue is just so fucking
Well,
good.
it's a
dude.
commentary on like the choices you make and where
Yeah.
like those paths lead you.
Yeah.
And then like, hey man, but every once in a while you'll like people show you a little bit of grace. And this is kind of like what you're seeing in this. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna give him a little bit of grace.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jules is kind of the hero in this movie
I also
for
wanna
that reason, right?
I want to point out Raquel does come out and like roast them immediately when she sees them. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"You guys going to a volleyball game later?" And just because in the diner the whole time they're dressed like that, you
which
know?
just adds to it. I mean, the final scene of them walking out
Yeah,
in this goofy
very,
outfit,
very funny,
shoving
yeah.
the guns in their
Yeah.
dorky shorts.
It's really fucking funny.
But yeah, he breaks down the speech one last time, and he lets him go.
And I love that part. I really like that part a
it's
lot.
so
I love the
good.
truth is you're the weak and I am the because usually with these lines I feel like so often it's like people are like this is like a famous sentiment or like this is sort of like a quote. Like where do we each fit as the parts of like this as a truth about reality?
Yeah.
And I like usually I I forgot that he gives an answer and that it is the real answer and he goes like, well, you see actually the truth is. And what I love about it is like really gives the weight of like you're a bug, dude. Like
Yeah.
I will fucking. You're not a big bad evil guy. You're robbing because you need to. I
Right.
kill because I want to.
Yeah, which ties back into the beginning where, Yolanda's saying, I don't want to kill anyone. And,
Yeah.
he's like, neither do I, right? These guys you've come up against a whole nother level of
Yes.
criminal.
Yeah, they're the next tier of like
Yeah.
like a tier way above you of like crime. But
And I wrote down, he says, you're the weak and I'm the tyranny of evil men. And
trying
I
real
really
hard to be the shepherd.
love it. And just tells him to go.
Trying real hard, Ringo.
And again, the surf music comes back in. It's just such a good vibe, and they fucking walk out the door, and that's it, baby.
Yeah. Apparently, 9 total people die in this movie. 7 on screen, and 2 are mentioned.
Oh, interesting. Who are the 2 that are mentioned?
That's a great question.
Hmm.
For you to explore next time you watch this movie.
I guess so. Thinking about it.
Dude,
Well, it's the boxer.
Yeah, he dies off screen. Yes.
And Butch's father.
You didn't see that scene? I guess that was in the version
The
I watched.
extended
What's so
edition.
funny? Stop laughing. I saw that scene. You watched him die. He's actually his dad is played by Ron Perlman.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's a good pick.
It's not a pick. That's who plays his dad in the movie.
What's up? I'm saying, good
Look
job,
at- look
Tarantino,
at the
casting this
casting.
character.
I didn't pick him up. Then he turns into Hellboy.
Yeah, that's fucking Pulp Fiction, Alfredo. And the end of our movies out of order.
Movies
category.
out of order month is over.
That was a really fun month. I liked how that turned. I mean, I had problems with Mirror, but like as a collection of movies to discuss, that was really
overall,
fun.
like pretty fun. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a lot more chin strokey than
Yeah.
it was. And I think we got a good amount of chin stroking in, but
Absolutely.
there was Mulholland Drive, a more fun movie than I remember. This movie is just like
a good time.
super fun movie.
Memento is more fun than I remember too, because I
Yeah.
remember that just being like pure dark.
Let's get tier rankings out of the way
Okay.
and talk a little bit more generally about Out of Order. But
Yeah.
do you want me to go first? You want to go first? I think I went first last time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm easy S tier for me. I mean, I love this movie so much.
For sure. I would say within the confines of what it is, genre-wise, I would say it is an S tier. I will say for me personally, it is an A tier film.
Wow. A little surprised.
And I think it is kind of like, I mean, it is one of those where a lot of the technical aspects I think can bump it up to an S, and maybe it really does. And I'm just speaking where I am right now. But yeah, I think the like emotional components that really elevate some other stories are just completely non-existing here. And again, that's a genre thing. It's not something that I think needs to be here. Like again, within what it is, fully an S tier film. This is also a great thing to study. Like if you're looking at like, shot composition, like shot lists, like dialogue, writing, all of that stuff, like telling a cogent story, totally up there. But I think when it comes to like those deeper things that make something feel like a super impactful piece of art, some of that is lacking for me.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that while I was watching this, and even before we were watching it, I was like, I know this is one of my favorite movies, but I was thinking about but compared to a lot of my favorite movies, yeah, it is more shallow in ways, right? It's not trying to be as deep.
I think that's part of what is so good about it. I think it's I don't think it's a bug, it's a feature,
Well, I know, and that's what I'm saying. I think this one just knocks it out of the park so hard on all the other aspects, and I'm going to be watching it for the rest of my life and loving it every time that I'm like, yeah, S tier, baby.
For sure. And I think for me, like I need a little bit more about like I need a little bit more there,
Yeah.
I think like I would say I would think of Mulholland Drive as a more of like this is a piece of art.
Yeah.
Like I would hold it in that regard. Like
Yeah.
a little more like over Pulp Fiction. Not to compare them, but that's part of what we're doing,
Yeah.
But but again, love it. Great dialogue, really well constructed film, some like cool themes. And I think as we talked about them, like I said, it is shallow, but there's some things to chew on, like that I appreciate. But yeah, fun stuff. Fun movie.
Absolutely.
Fun month.
I had a great time this month.
And we said it last week because I insisted on it. Next month, is Spooky October.
Yeah, baby.
Some might call it Spooktober.
Brains.
Spooktober, Spooktacular.
Brains.
Oh shit! Oh no, we didn't lock the door.
So Alfredo, watch out!
Oh no, Cinema Forecast Zombies.
Yeah, I love zombie movies. Can't wait. We're doing Night of the Living Dead, the original zombie movie, and not just zombie movie, original zombie story. Like I feel like a lot of people don't recognize. Just like this is where it all started, baby.
Night of the Living Dead is what we will be watching and talking about next week, and for the month of October, it will be zombies. Really quickly before we address any other sort of like house cleaning with like what November might entail or onwards, I did want to say really quickly, one of the questions I don't think we talked about as much as we did with Mulholland Drive or even Mirror or Memento, which I want to talk about now, is why is this movie out of order?
Yeah. Well, I think you did you made a great point when we did Memento, which is the reason you do a movie out of order is because the climax of the film is not chronological.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think the reason that this movie is out of order is because you want the denouement to be Jules' speech transformed in the diner. And you don't want... The Butch thing. The Butch of it all is like what... like it's so interesting because you see him... I guess because you want to see where Vincent's path will ultimately lead him as well. So, like, even though you want to leave off on the moment where there's the illusion of, like, freedom. Where do they go now?
Yeah, riding into the sunset.
You do kind of have the duality of, like, where do they go now? But we also kind of know that...
we know what happens to Vincent.
One of their paths ends soon, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the... I mean, everything is... like given so much more context by knowing that Vincent's going to die.
Yeah, I think it is also... I think it works with the Mulholland Drive thing. And a thing I think just in general, which is the subversion of the like Hollywood classic like thing. You want... like I think Tarantino wants to fuck with his viewers, right?
Yeah.
Like he wants to like cram a bunch of shit in there. He wants to cram a bunch of references, see how many of them you get. And he wants to like kind of mess with you. And he wants to use your like... he wants to throw you off. He wants you to feel like unsettled. Like that adds to the tension. He wants you to feel the absurdity of a lot of these moments. And I think all of that is bolstered by the use of a non-linear narrative, right?
Absolutely.
But it is like one of the more linear movies that we've seen, I think, this month, you know?
Yeah, okay, light spoilers for Mulholland Drive. I won't get into it, but there was part of me wondering, like, because we're not exactly sure if the second half of that movie, how much of that is dream, how much is that a reality. There could be an argument there that Mulholland Drive isn't even out of order if it's just one long dream and it's just the sequences within the dream are out of order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that it's kind of a moot point because, like... the
events that we're seeing are out of order.
But it's also because it's a stylistic like choice to like do this dream-like vibe the whole way, and that is the whole thing, is that you are asking yourself, is it in order, is it not? Like it's almost, it potentially being in order like makes it more of this category for me, if that makes sense. The fact that you aren't sure makes it, because what is out of like, again, these themes or these like categories we choose, they have these like titles to them, and they're aspects of the films, like nonlinear storytelling. A nonlinear story like isn't nonlinear for the sake of being nonlinear. It is nonlinear for the sake of delivering important piece of information towards the end that would be chronologically at different points, and also disarming the audience. It is a sort of a, what's the word I'm thinking of? Subversion.
Yeah.
Of like, it's a subversion. It is this sort of like artsy sort of like thing to do as well, and that's what's much more important. So I think the fact that watching that movie leaves you still talking about is in order or not is for me like almost the ultimate out of order like fucking move, you know?
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and I mean for that one, that whether or not it is in order actually,
how linear
like,
it can feel is like kind of like fucked up. Like
because
it fucks with you even more, like, after you watch it, you're like, wait, is it non-linear? Like, yeah, it is, but is it? Like, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Pulp Fiction is decidedly non-linear, you know? It's very clearly
Memento,
non-linear, you know?
very clearly.
Pretty cut and dry, you know?
I mean...
The Mirror, wow, one day we'll fathom.
One day we can
One day we will peek into the void.
I mean, for me, like, it's
And analysis will be peeking back.
yeah, I mean, for me, the like we talked about in the mirror episode, it's really just about trying to give you the sense of what it's like to look back and reflect on your life, which of course is out of order. I mean, it's like, being lost in your own head, right? You're not going to like think about, well, I can't think about the time I was a teenager until I think about the time I was a kid. Like, no, it just comes and goes,
Wait, that's not how everyone's memory works?
You don't recount your entire life every time you remember something?
But yeah, I think like what I don't really feel the need to do like a whole like out of order post-mortem like I've done with some of the other ones, because I think like if you listen through the episodes, like we gleaned a lot of really cool like thoughts, and I think we did a good job of sort of summing them up at the beginning of like each of the episodes. And I love this movie, but I don't think there was anything that really like was like groundbreaking in our discoveries. I honestly felt like that first thought has like really carried through and informed a lot of it.
Yeah, that the climax being...
I almost feel like the themes you pick like as well at the beginning of the month, like so spot on for Pulp Fiction as well, like seeing like the different sides of these things and how they all sort of like come together at the end.
Yeah, there was some of these I was less sure about, like fate versus free will. I wasn't sure how much that would tie in.
That's what this movie's about.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that in.
That's the heaviest. That's the headiest aspect of this, is the fate versus free will. The like what is meant for us or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I said we would get to some house cleaning. We're not going to do that. I was just saying that to say that. Oh, you know what I will do? And Connor's gonna kill a little bit of time on the air for one.
That's
second.
right.
He's gonna sing a song.
I'm clearing time right now, baby. Don't you know it? This is me clearing time.
I'm looking to see if we have any reviews on Apple Podcasts,
yeah.
Which is funny because we might just end up cutting this out because we might not have any. But if we do end up cutting this out because we don't have any, you should feel bad.
I want to say Dalwhinnie, I believe that's how you say his username, has now commented on almost every single video we have on YouTube. So shout out to him.
Shout out.
And I will respond to all those comments.
Shout out.
One way or another.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry for the delay.
No, much appreciated. Yeah, keep chatting away. I mean, we got our jobs though. We got to whatever. But anyway, no new reviews.
Ah, shit.
So whatever. Anyway, I want to thank y'all so very much. Like I said, next month we'll do zombies. We'll see what happens after that.
Yeah.
Mysteries abound.
Can't wait.
Just joking. We're just gonna do Trapped for November. Or are we?
Or are we?
Thank you all so very much. Call your mom, tell you love her. Tell your friends you love them. Give them hugs. Give them kisses on the cheek, big smooch, as long as they're okay with that. Give your friends, girlfriends, foot massages, as long as you and your friends are totally okay with that level of physical intimacy. If you think it's physically intimate, maybe you don't. Maybe culturally you're just like, foot massage, whatever. Dude.
Still ask, though.
Get a fucking foot massage out of the freaking, what the fucking thought. So, that being said, please like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all of y'all's support. Love doing this. Super fun for us. But it's cool to know that we're not just shouting into the void,
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, so we'll see you fucking next time. We'll see you next month in October.
We'll see you in the forecast.
Brains.